right, here we go. We've been through this drill before, and all I can say is don't drop your guard. Do not take this for granted. We've been through this many times. MJ, have been here since 1994. We've had the close scrapes. We've had the stuff coming right at us and then turns at the last minute. All I could say is the forecast models are pushing it a little closer to the Tampa Bay area. It is still quite a distance away. When you look at the latest advisory, should I say, hey, welcome everybody. It's the MJ Morning Show here on a Monday.
Yeah, they probably already know that.
It's going to be an interesting week.
Let's get right to it today.
Yeah, it is going to be a very interesting week, and I plan to give as much information as we can this morning, what we know, when we know it, but also kind of blend that with a regular MJ Morning Show. And as the week goes on, we will do everything as warranted. One thing that we've always been able to maintain here on the MJ Morning Show is, really a good informational broadcast, and, we plan to do the same. We've been through this a lot over the years. Yes, Rox?
So we're going to hunker down here?
All right, so the first rule of us doing a hurricane or storm-related program...
Never use the word hunker. Yeah.
I thought that would get you good.
Yeah.
I thought you'd like hunker.
Do we have any hatches? Need batten?
Yeah.
Yes.
The first rule is never use the word hunker. Ever. All right.
I remember for Irma, my brother-in-law invented a drinking game with meteorologists using cliches. And he was drunk like before it even came close to the state. Hunker down, batten down the hatches, all those ridiculous statements that mean nothing to people.
I think those are the only two, right?
The key is just to be prepared.
I noticed it was dark out, obviously, but coming over this morning, it looks like they moved all the barges and cranes away from the Howard Franklin construction already.
Well, that's proactive.
Yeah. Well, I would say, as you were heading into the weekend and seeing that we've got something coming in this general direction, proactive is a pretty good word.
Roxanne
yes.
has a part-time job as the safety coordinator for the cranes on the bridge. Let's be proactive, everybody.
So hunker and proactive.
We had a storm coming. Let's be proactive.
Yeah. So the 5 o'clock advisory, I'm looking at again, you look at the cone of uncertainty, you look at the projections, and it looks like really middle of the night on Thursday now. And keep in mind, this has been very fluid. These times have been moving. This storm had been faster. It had a higher acceleration. But then over the weekend, they slowed the storm down, and that's partially because the storm itself slowed. And at one point over the weekend, what was it, like 12 miles an hour? So it was moving slowly. Then it started to take this turn. And the way that it's projected, keep in mind, this thing is now at essentially the latitude of just above Belize. So just above Belize, where the Yucatan Peninsula border begins with Mexico and Belize, that border. So that's where it is. It's still quite a distance away. This thing is still quite a bit below Cuba. And the way that the other big headline is that it did become a hurricane overnight. So when you went to bed last night, chances are it was Tropical Storm Ian, and now it has been upgraded overnight. It did become Hurricane Ian, and as we sit here, the maximum sustained winds are 75 miles an hour, so it's just inside hurricane status, because hurricane status begins at 74 miles an hour. We're now at maximum sustained winds at 75. Now, schools, as we get on the air this morning, it's important to hear what schools are closed, and the list is going to be fluid. So again, what we're giving you now could change in an hour or two, or certainly by tomorrow. Hillsborough County Schools, as we get on the air here at 6 a.m. on Monday morning, Hillsborough County Schools will be closed today through Thursday. So no Hillsborough County schools will be open today, tomorrow, Tuesday, Wednesday, or Thursday, and I'm sure we're going to play it by ear to see what happens for the end of the week on Friday. Pinellas County schools are open today, but some will have early release. And according to the Pinellas County website, I'm going to read this right from the Pinellas County website for public schools. To support readiness at sites designed as special needs shelters, the following schools will release students early at 12:30 p.m. today, Monday. And that's going to be Palm Harbor University High School, Dunedin Highland Middle School, John Hopkins Middle School. All other schools and offices will be open today, Monday, September 26th. And then regular operating hours will be in effect today, except for the schools we mentioned in Pinellas County. After-school activities in Pinellas will be canceled. All right. Now, for Pinellas, we're looking at some sites say different things already. So some sites are saying that Pinellas is going to be closed on Tuesday and Wednesday. And I got to believe, right, they're apparently not going far out to Thursday, but really it's going to be Thursday in the overnight hours that will have the impact of this storm. So I can't imagine Pinellas is going to be open on Thursday. Yeah.
Right. Yeah, Hillsborough County came out, and I got the text as a Hillsborough County parent yesterday afternoon or evening, and it said all week, up until Friday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Hillsborough's closed. Pinellas open today, closed Tuesday and Wednesday. Pasco open today, closed tomorrow and Wednesday.
Okay.
Polk County open Monday and Tuesday.
But then closed, likely, Polk County likely to be closed on Wednesday and Thursday. Manatee open today. That's all we have from Manatee. Sarasota open today. That's all we have from them. Hernando open today. That's all we have from Hernando right now. And then Citrus County open today, and that's all we have.
If you go to one of the colleges or universities, forget it. Don't even go today. Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
University of Tampa closed. USF closed. St. Leo's online.
Yep. So there we go. So UT and University of South Florida, everything is closed today. So classes are canceled today. All right, we're just getting rolling. It's going to be, again, folks, it's going to be a challenging week. You know, we'll obviously hope that this storm either pushes further out into the Gulf and stays off the coast, or that it turns earlier. And, of course, you don't want to wish that on anybody, but, you know, what's better for the Tampa Bay area obviously is going to be worse for somebody else. But like I said, we've been through this drill before. We'll get through it again. But at some point, the Tampa Bay area is going to get hit. Even if this thing sits offshore, even if this thing brushes offshore, depending on how far offshore, we would be on the dirty side of this thing. And, of course, it's the right front. It's the upper right or the northeast quadrant that has the highest wind, and also offshore, if it sits in the Gulf, that potentially pushes the most water, storm surge, flooding into the Tampa Bay area. But all remains to be seen and what actually verifies. All right, just getting started. It's going to be a busy, busy show today. It's going to be a busy week for as long as we can remain in this studio. And we're going to be with you every step of the way. MJ Morning Show on Q105. Q105 MJ with Roxanne, Froggy, and Fester. And I made a mention just a few moments ago. Hopefully, your hurricane preparation kit was already, for the most part, intact. All of the items that should be in your kit. You know, clearly you need to know if you're in an evacuation zone. I don't think, Fester, you're not evacuation zone. Roxanne, you're not in evacuation zone. Froggy, what about you?
I am.
Yeah, he's right near the water.
And I'm in Beach Park in South Tampa. I'm in an evacuation zone. We'll get into all those details coming up in just a bit. Let me quickly bring on Christiane Pierce. Christiane is a forecaster with the National Weather Service at the Ruskin office right here in the Tampa Bay area. And obviously, we're going to be bouncing back and forth with our meteorologist partners at ABC Action News. We'll be speaking with them this morning. We will use the resources of the National Weather Service in Ruskin, as well as the National Hurricane Center down in Miami. Christiane, am I saying that properly?
You sure are.
All right, Christiane, welcome to the MJ Morning Show on Q105. And obviously, we've got a busy week ahead. What do you see? What can you tell us about the 5 a.m. advisory on Hurricane Ian?
Well, the 5 a.m. advisory didn't have much change from the 11 p.m. So if anybody was looking at the differences, you'll notice there's like a little bit of timing difference, which all that's still going to fluctuate because if you look at the cone of uncertainty that the Hurricane Center puts out, it's still fairly large when you get into those, 3 and 5 days out. And the timing can also change. The track can also shift, left or right. But the important message here is everybody needs to be finishing up those preparations. I mean, they've had some time now to kind of see what the storm's going to do. We're still not 100% certain, where it's going to end up, making landfall. But we can expect the west coast of Florida is going to get a decent amount of rain, some, storm surge, winds. Everybody definitely needs to be paying attention if they're in an evacuation zone. They need to be listening to their local officials. All that stuff's really important.
Now, Christiane, the forecast path, I'm looking at it right now, obviously, and we're not supposed to obviously focus on any center line. We're supposed to focus on the cone. The cone obviously has started to narrow quite a bit. So the confidence in the forecast path has to be pretty significant because right now the storm, Hurricane Ian, is sitting at a latitude really near the Belize, Mexico, Yucatan border. So it's still, quite a distance below Cuba, the western tip of Cuba. So it still has quite a distance to go. The speed is accelerated a couple of miles an hour over what I saw late last night at 14 miles per hour. Now, how confident are we, though, as far as the cone is narrowing, meaning Naples is out of the cone now? It looks like Fort Myers is just within the cone. It seems that this is narrowing even more, and it has major hurricane status off our coast by 2 a.m., overnight hours on Thursday morning. What would you like to add to that?
Yeah, the cone will continue to shrink, of course, as we get more confident. But 3 and 5 days out, there's still quite a bit of uncertainty. And the thing is, you shouldn't focus just on the cone anyway, because even if it makes landfall, let's say on that far eastern part or the far western part, areas around there will still feel impacts. It might be tropical storm impacts, like force winds, but even though, like you said, Naples is out of the cone, if it makes landfall up near Tampa, they'll start feeling some of those winds early on because, the hurricane is very large, and the cone only represents where the center of the storm could possibly go. So you have to kind of keep that in mind when you're looking at that cone of uncertainty. It doesn't tell you the whole picture. But, yes, it is going to start narrowing, and people will kind of start getting a better idea of where this might make landfall. But just because it makes landfall in that particular spot doesn't mean that people outside of that area shouldn't also be preparing.
And as we look at the forecast models right now, this is projected to be a Category 3 or 4 as it approaches in the Gulf toward the Tampa Bay area.
Mm-hmm. They are expecting it to weaken quite a bit once it gets into the Gulf because there is a lot of wind shear and stuff like that. But yes, a major hurricane off the coast of Tampa would not be good news for Tampa.
All right, so as far as our latitude, with the projection of it being near us, and again, this is going to be fluid, folks, but approaching the Tampa Bay area at 2 a.m. or so on Thursday morning, so overnight, early Thursday morning, what is it projected to be out in the Gulf as the path is now, of course, knowing that this could change? What are we looking at as far as if it does stay out in the Gulf and it's west of Pinellas County in the Gulf, and again, it's going to depend on how far offshore and what the effects will be. What do we anticipate the category to be as it parallels the coast?
I think about this time, they're still saying a Category 3, maybe albeit a low one, getting into the 2, like high 2.
Yep.
But again, timing's that's gonna change things. The shift in the track could also change that. But yeah, I mean, we are looking at a major hurricane in the Gulf of Mexico.
All right, we appreciate it, and hopefully, as we always say, prepare for the worst, hope for the best. We've been through this drill many times. As I've been in this area with our team for a long time. We've had the close passes, and I don't want people to drop their guard and say, "Oh, it always turns away." There's going to be a time where it doesn't. So, Christiane, thank you so much for coming on the MJ Morning Show. I'm sure we'll be in touch with you and your colleagues multiple times this morning and, of course, during the course of the week.
We'll be here for you.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right, Christiane Pierce with the National Weather Service at the Ruskin office right here in the Tampa Bay area. And listen, we're going to use the resources of our friends at ABC Action News as well as the National Hurricane Center down in Miami. All of these organizations are pretty accessible to us, so we're going to bring you just all the information as warranted. Now, prep-wise, we'll get into this later on. Pretty much we have and always have had our water supply, and we've had a generator, and I did secure a better generator over the weekend. I have one generator. I did buy a second generator over the weekend. I did fill a lot of gas cans over the weekend because that's one thing that I don't keep lots of gas just hanging out in the garage.
You don't? You don't have 50 gallons of gas just in a bucket or something?
I don't. I've got 41 gallons now, though, which, by the way, if I don't use the gas in all my gas cans and all these 5-gallon cans, if I don't use the gas for the generator during the storm, then that just goes right into the car.
Yeah, you just funnel it right in.
Fill it right in.
When gas prices, if they go up again, you could just sell it and make a buck.
No, I don't think the profit margin would be that much. I'll make a whopping, $3.86.
You know what, MJ? It's a volume game when it comes to that point.
Yeah, well, guess what? I don't have that much volume.
41 you have 41 gallons of gas in your house?
I do. I have 41 gallons of gas, so that would be 2 complete fill-ups for our SUV because our tank holds about 20 gallons. All right, we're just getting rolling here today, folks. We have a lot to cover. I was out over the weekend. On Saturday, I did some of the last-minute preparation. Water shelves at Publix were already toast. All the water was gone. So observations on that. Home Depot and Lowe's observations. Ace Hardware over on Beta Bay observations in South Tampa. So hang on. We're just getting started here. It's going to be a busy week, folks. I'm not going to lie to you. It's going to be an interesting, challenging week. I just remember the evacuations for Irma and Charlie.
Yeah.
And if you remember Charlie, wasn't it like a 30-mile backup on 275? And
was that back in 04?
that was 04, yeah.
And then we had 2 more after that.
Yeah, that was a crazy year. Was that Wilma back then as well?
In 04 with Charlie, everybody left the Tampa Bay area, and it hooked.
It hooked right into Punta Gorda, Port Charlotte.
Where people went to flee from the Tampa Bay area.
Some cases, yes. So, all right, hold on. You got the MJ Morning Show here on a Monday morning. It is 6:29. Let's grab traffic. with the MJ Morning Show on Q105. MJ and the crew at 6:35 as we get rolling here on a Monday morning, and a very interesting Monday morning and week it probably will be here. Now, Fester, how are you on preparation? Typically, I'd be doing some morons in the news here. I do have a pile of morons in the news. Let's we'll play it by ear to see whether we'll dive into the morons or not. Fester, what about your hurricane preparedness? What do you have and what don't you have? Did you get out over the weekend to fill in some holes in your hurricane preparedness or what?
So, I have acquired several packages of water. The 16.9 ounce bottles, right?
I'm glad you have several packages. That's good. I'm glad you have got several packages.
So as opposed to several bottles.
No, is 3 several or 2's a couple, right? So 3 would be several, right?
Yeah.
So I have 3. And then I was an over prepper for the coronavirus back in March of 2020.
So you have gallons of hand sanitizer. Is that what you're about to say?
I have like 24 cans of refried beans from Aldi that has been sitting in my garage.
Oh, there you go. There's your non-perishable canned goods.
I told the kids, I go, hey, the storm hits. I hope you like refried beans.
And then you'll be able to produce your own gas.
Yeah, so we'll also take care of
that's great.
our heating situation.
Of all things to get when you're stuck in your house,
So,
beans.
well, remember back in 2020?
Refried beans?
Because they were in the, and I have pinto beans, refried beans. I can make
Oh my God.
I can make a vegetarian Mexican fiesta with all the cans that I have in my house.
What's going to happen when you run out of toilet paper?
Okay, so that's another thing. I have like 4 bundles of toilet paper, like from Sam's Club, that I bought back in March of 2020.
It's expired.
No, it doesn't expire, does it?
I don't know.
I hope a critter didn't get in it and eat it. It's just like dust.
All right, so Froggy, you're in an evacuation zone as I am. So, I did build my house up. Now, when I built my house in South Tampa in 2003, we started construction. We moved in the summer of 2005. So it took about 2 years to build our house. And I built it 1 foot and 4 inches above the requirement, meaning where I am, it used to be called an A10 flood zone, meaning you had to be 10 feet above. Now, my land is about 6 feet above mean water level, or I don't know if it's mean high tide. So the land where I am is about 6 feet above. So you were required to build your house another 4 feet up. I built my house another 5 feet 4 inches up. So I'm
thinking.
I'm at 11 feet 4 inches, but still now, since I built my house, they've changed all of the flood zones. Everything's been changed in the Tampa Bay area. And in fact, some of the changes have come just in the last couple of years. And they're requiring homes, like right now, I think I'm like a 12 to a 13-foot flood zone. In a worst case scenario is, what they say.
But your place is still higher than that.
What are you saying?
What's your overall height?
I just said that. 11 feet 4 inches.
You gave out so many numbers. I was like, well, I'm doing math here.
Right. Well, it's pretty easy. My base floor level is 11 feet 4 inches.
Okay.
All right. Now I think they're requiring 12 or 13. I'm like kind of on a cusp. I'm kind of on a border, I think, between a 12 and a 13, if that makes any sense at all. But Froggy, you're in an actual evacuation zone, correct?
Correct, sir, yes. And luckily, when I built my house, we had the choice of adding a moat or not, and we went moat.
You did not. First of all, you did not build your house.
We went moat, 100% with drawbridge.
Your house was probably built in the 1970s. And
60s.
I'm sorry.
And it's haunted by old dead man Bob.
Wait a second.
That's the guy who had it before me. The old man is haunting the place.
Your house is haunted by old dead man Bob?
Yeah, old dead man Bob haunts my house.
The guy who owned your house just before you and Kim bought it died in that house?
Yeah.
How'd he die?
Hold on.
Right in the kitchen.
You guys moved into a murder house?
Well, I think he dropped dead. I don't think he was murdered. Old dead man Bob still haunts the place, though.
I mean, everybody dies, but...
My kid will be like, why is there an old man looking at me in the middle of the night?
No, he doesn't.
And I'm like, what? That's old dead man Bob.
No, he doesn't.
Ask him. I'm telling you.
Was he found, like, laying on that awful formica that was in your kitchen for years?
No, I don't know. I think he was slumped over the kitchen sink.
That's so crazy.
There was no old dead man Bob in your house. Are you serious?
Dude, I promise you, the old dead man Bob is still around. He's the one. He's an old man. He was a curmudgeon.
All right, wait a minute. You bought the house right after
The
Bob
year
died?
after, yes.
So
Did they disclose that?
it went into probate. Probably the kids got it. They didn't want it. They wanted to get the money quick to
Yes,
spend
exactly.
it on some horse.
Bob dropped dead in your kitchen?
Yes, I believe right in the kitchen.
How do you know that?
Because we were talking to their kids when we were making the transaction.
All right, so you bought the house from their kids,
Yes.
and they said that their father expired right in the kitchen?
They didn't say expired. They say he dropped dead
So
right in the kitchen.
did they tell you that like at closing, like right after you signed the last document? Like, oh, by the way, Pops died in the kitchen.
I,
See
mean,
you later.
I don't care,
And
really.
we, and we think that he's haunting the place. He's dragging chains around going, oh. Like the headless scepter in the Scooby-Doo cartoons.
No, but we will hear like our cabinet will start going.
No, it
opening and
won't.
closing.
No, it's not.
I'm telling you.
So does he have a friendly vibe or a scary vibe?
Scary. Very scary.
How about I drop like a little silicone stopper off and just take the rattle out of that cabinet for you?
Like, folks, I just asked Froggy whether he was in a flood zone.
Oh, he's in a flood
That's-
zone.
I'm in a haunting zone as well.
That's all I was asking Froggy.
But yes, the moat protects us from the hurricanes.
You don't have a moat. You've got a canal in back of your house.
Oh, yeah.
But
It's a canal.
the point I'm trying to make is your home was built in the 60s.
Yes.
And I'm guessing your front door is right on ground level, correct?
Sure.
Is your house built up at all?
No, there's a 4-inch step.
There's a slope.
There's a little step, like a 4-inch step going into the front
That's what
door.
I'm saying.
Yeah.
So, like, from your back patio, do you have a back? I've never been to your place, but oh yes, I have. I helped get Kim's car started when her battery kind of clunked out.
Yeah, we have a back patio.
But like, you have sliding glass doors.
Yes.
All right, now the sliding glass doors. When you step out from your living room or wherever the sliding glass doors are located, when you step out, is it just a couple of inches down to the patio, or is it significantly?
It's like 27 steps down.
Will you stop being a
5
wise
feet.
ass?
No, it's a couple steps. But then we get a slope down more. I'm on a slope.
Okay.
So the slope, I believe, helps us not flood. I don't know, man. Stop quizzing me.
All right,
I hope so.
Nothing's going to help you in your 1960s house.
No.
If it comes up the mouth of Tampa
Right.
Bay,
But the problem is
Old man Bob will protect me.
no, he won't.
the problem is that a lot of these houses, even in my neighborhood, you got a ton of houses which are essentially built right on ground level. They're not built up at all. There are a lot of the older homes in my neighborhood in South Tampa and in a flood area are literally right on the ground. So there are houses right in my neighborhood where, I walk by while walking the dogs every night, and the front door, it might be 2 or 3 inches that you step up to get over the threshold to get into the house, versus the newer homes, some are built feet up and some of them are built, even more.
Do you have any stilt homes in your neighborhood? Because that would be awesome.
You know what?
Like Key
I'll
West?
tell you what. Some of the brand new construction homes, there are a few that have been built on pilings and have the garage space underneath the house, and not a traditional home. So
Lucky.
they're starting to build a few of those, and I've noticed those as walking the dogs in the neighborhood. And I do notice more homes are getting built where they're driving pilings, whereas before, pilings were never required or never used in my neighborhood. So,
What about the beach areas?
What about the beach?
Is that going to get destroyed?
Oh yeah,
well, first of all, Froggy, could you temper your language, please?
MJ, hold on. If it skirts Pinellas County,
If it does, listen, Froggy, I just don't want you to be
What did I
alarmed.
say? I don't remember.
You just said it 12 seconds ago.
Okay.
If it hits the beach.
Our place is going to be destroyed? Yes. Yes. If
So
the
now you said it.
if the hurricane hits the beach, yes, places along the shoreline are going to have some significant difficulty. What are you thinking? Well, hold on. Are you thinking about the Froggy family beach home?
No. Oh, Jesus. I need another moat.
luckily there's all those big houses in front of it to protect
Yes,
it.
seriously.
So that's right. The Froggy family weekend getaway home.
Where the famous naked picture of Fesher was taken.
Exactly.
Oh, that's right.
That can't be destroyed.
Wait a
That's a
minute.
shrine.
That home is how far from the beach?
Not far.
100 steps.
No.
It's right behind it's right next to the houses on the beach.
I'm
Oh,
amazed
man.
I have a friend that has this good a beach property.
Yeah,
Let's
that's.
hope those mansions get taken out first.
So,
What are you saying?
well, hold on. So,
Stop
Well,
with-
they got this.
So
You know,
stop with your language
So-
and your.
you know what
MJ,
I mean.
You have to appreciate the block that the Froggy beach
Now,
compound
this is
on.
Reddington Beach or Reddington Shores. What is the
Yes.
actual? What is it?
I'm going to sneeze.
He's
Oh my
you
God!
dying?
Now he's coughing up COVID
Reddington
in here.
So,
Are you? What are you doing? Are you all right?
so just as you asked him,
I'm sneezing.
he drank a cup of coffee and he coughed and sneezed at the same time.
Oh my God!
Okay,
Was there a fart there as
Oh,
well?
God.
That we-
There might have been.
Gross.
Oh.
So the Froggy Beach compound is in Reddington Shores, and MJ, honestly, as an outside spectator of this street that it's on, it's like one house built in the 1940s that Froggy's family has,
Yes.
and then 3-story mansions all the way around it. It's like you
So
can
I'm
tell
almost protected.
you can tell the time
Oh,
by the
so-
shadow that the mansions
All right,
cast.
so wait a minute. You're telling me that the Froggy family home is the so-called knockdown home in
Yes,
the neighborhood.
the cinder block 1-story awesome house, but it's
It's old school.
one of these things do not belong. One of these things do not like the other.
Who owns the house?
The mafia. No, here's the thing. We're going to build a new house. Bigger and better than ever someday.
Yes,
Who owns the house?
My family.
But is it your father?
Yeah, my father and his brothers.
How many brothers are there?
17.
yeah. I mean,
You know
There's a
what?
lot of
old
grandkids.
man Phil was just knocking them out.
I'm going to come over there and karate chop you in the throat.
Am I obnoxious today?
Seriously.
Listen, we got a serious storm coming.
I
don't
know.
even
I'm
about
trying to
Froggy.
bring some levity to a serious situation.
I'm going to come karate chop you right in the thorax.
This is
Sorry.
not
All
the
right?
week for violence.
Yes.
You know that Adam's apple? I'm aiming right for that. Hang on. Let me grab a Sharpie. I'm going to draw an X right on your Adam's apple.
No,
where I'm
not
gonna,
a bullseye.
Where I'm going to karate chop you. All right. Now, the point is
Yes.
that home is like right on ground level, right?
Yeah, it could be an issue.
But
All
Andrew,
right.
you think about things like John's Pass. or
Yeah.
things that have
Oh,
been
yeah.
around for 40 years.
Yeah,
this
yeah.
may not be a great
Hold
week.
on. John's Pass has been around for 40 years?
I don't know.
What?
John's Pass has been around
I don't
for
know.
as long as I can remember. John's Pass has been there.
A lot longer than 40 years, dude.
So things that have been around for that time, the things that haven't, like the Thunderbird Hotel,
Okay.
the
Thunderbird.
the Bon Air in St. Pete Beach. I mean, the
Yeah.
old St. Pete Beach stuff.
The pier.
No, the new pier that they have, the new St. Pete Pier, is all concrete.
Okay,
that's not
good.
going anywhere.
You know what else they have to do at the beach? It just reminded me, like the Clearwater Marine Aquarium, they have to do special things with all the animals too.
Oh,
Keep them
no, the
safe.
sea turtles.
To set them free. I mean, listen, no offense. This week, the last things I'm worried about is the aquarium. Set them free. Let us go.
Professor, are you insane?
You can't set them free.
We got people to worry about.
A lot of the animals at the aquarium
need-
are there because they can't be set
Yeah.
free.
We set them free. They'll die immediately.
remember, like Winter the dolphin had a
Yeah.
tail problem.
Dude, we get a Category 4 storm coming to the Tampa Bay area.
Hold on,
Animals
hang on. First of all, stop.
No,
Don't
if-
say.
If we have a stop, MJ, hold on.
You're saying we've got a Category
No,
4. Listen,
okay.
You're an alarmist.
If we have a major
Yeah.
storm coming
Right.
to the Tampa Bay area,
or offshore.
all zoos and aquariums should go by Darwin's law.
So Zoo Tampa ought to let the gorillas out or whatever. I don't even
Yeah,
know.
that'll help during hurricanes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Give them a couple of days on their own.
Let the
Tigers
zebras
running
out.
by your house.
What is the matter with you guys? I'm between Fester and Froggy. I feel like I'm on like hallucinogenic mushrooms over here.
I'm not. I know I shouldn't be this way, but I'm not worried about it
If we're under a major
Hold on.
But, no.
You are not worried?
because there's no. I mean, I'm prepared, but I have too many other things to worry about, so I can't worry about this until it happens.
This can ruin all other things you're worrying about.
Right, I understand that.
Tell me 3 things that are more important going on in your life this week than a
No,
major
I
storm.
didn't say it wasn't important.
Hang
I
on a minute.
just
You said you're not worried about it.
I can't be worried about it.
Well,
It's like
listen,
if
what
it's
can
going
you
to
do?
come. What am I going to do?
Well,
Stop it?
All right, everyone, hang on a minute. You don't want to whip yourself into a frenzy. You just want to be smart. You want to be
Yeah.
prepared. You got to know if you need to evacuate. All right, hold on to all of those thoughts. We'll grab phone calls coming up, obviously. I'm just being honest here. I'm trying to figure out, what blend. Yeah, Fest is doing
Yeah.
Fest is doing the scale of balance, and I'm trying to figure out, what our balance should be today. I'm still just kind of, I'm doing Braille over here, trying to figure out what I should do.
Well, we're all balanced because I'll
Yeah.
be the less worried one, and Fester, you can be an alarmist.
That's not the balance I'm talking about. I'm talking about the other.
Talking about weight.
I'm talking about the other content that we're going to do, because I got a lot of non-hurricane content. All right, hang on. We're just getting started here. Hour 1 is almost done. All right, stand by. We're back in just a minute here on the MJ Morning Show on Q105. Now, if you need your carpets cleaned. 6:02 here on Monday. The whole crew in place as we head into a week where we're tracking a storm. And, we've been pretty lucky for a little bit. Now, we had that little brush, last year? What did we have last year?
Was it? Oh, what was last year? I was going back to Irma, but that was in 2017.
Was that 2017? I've been through this so many times, I just kind of lose track of, unless it was like a biggie that had a big impact, like Hurricane Charlie in 2004. I won't forget that one because that was coming right for us and then made the turn. And I know that we had that year also in 2004 where weren't there like 4 storms? And
yeah, 2004 was a very active, and it was active late into there was a storm in November, even one of the big ones that people hunkered down for.
All right,
Why whisper?
All right, Roxanne, get hunker out of your vocabulary.
I'm going to look up an online thesaurus and come up with other words for hunker.
We are a hunker-free morning show. We do not use the word hunker or hunker
It's
down.
so fun, though.
No, it's not fun. It is annoying. I hate the word hunker and hunker down. Yeah, I hate them. Hey, so the governor, over the weekend, the governor had initially declared a state of emergency for 24 counties. So 24 counties had a state of emergency declared, and that was on Friday. And then it was expanded later over the weekend, and now the entire state of Florida is under an emergency declaration. So originally, the emergency declaration was only 24 counties, and now it is the entire state. So it's been expanded, and what that does is it obviously brings about an urgency for residents to prepare for a storm. The governor said this storm has the potential to strengthen into a major hurricane, and we encourage all Floridians to make their preparations. We are coordinating with all state and local government partners to track potential impacts of the storm. Now, keep in mind, when you issue a state of emergency, what that does is that puts certain price gouging rules into effect. And that is an area that just infuriates me when during an emergency you have businesses that want to play a game with necessities. And when we talk about necessities, we're talking, and I have the actual statute here. So I've got the actual statute from the state of Florida. It's statute 501.160 states that during a state of emergency, it is unlawful to rent, sell, lease, offer to rent, sell, or lease essential commodities, dwelling units, or self-storage facilities at an unconscionable price. A price is presumed to be unconscionable if there is a gross disparity between the price charged during the state of emergency and the average price during the 30 days before the state of emergency, or the price grossly exceeds the average price of the same or similar commodity available in the trade area during the 30 days before the declaration of the state of emergency, unless the seller can justify the price by showing increases in its costs or market trends. Examples of necessary commodities for storm events are food, water, ice, gas, lodging, and lumber. So price gouging is illegal, and the state does have a price gouging hotline set up. So if you think that any SOB is jacking up the price, do you remember that places in the state, some people were trying to charge folks $30 for a case of water?
Yeah.
I remember seeing pictures of Zephyr Hills cases of water, like 24 bottles or something, a case of Zephyr Hills water. And I remember seeing $28, $30, $27. There were places that tried to really pull one over on people, and that is illegal. How about hotels? I've got a pile of stories. We can get into them later on where there are actual examples of hotels that jacked up their rate like 3 or 4 times because of people trying to evacuate and get out of areas that were most likely to be affected by a storm, and you can't do that. And, the fines are $1,000 per incident, and I think that it can accelerate to $25,000 over the course of a day. And if you think that you're a victim of a scam, the Attorney General's price gouging hotline has been opened. It is open for business. So hopefully people learn. But you know what? There's always going to be some shyster, some huckster, some bad actor. I'm telling you right now, even though we have a state of emergency and people hear about don't price gouge, I'm sure there are going to be places in the state. Hopefully it's limited, but we're going to hear. As sure as the sun's going to rise this morning, we're going to get stories of price gouging. There's no doubt about it. So if you think that you're being price gouged, you call 866-9-NO-SCAM. Let me see what it sounds like.
Does the Attorney General pick up directly? Is she standing right there next to the phone?
I guess we can find out. So 866-9-NO-SCAM.
I hope they have an aggressive voiceover.
Thank you for calling the Office of Attorney General Ashley Moody, Citizen Services. If this is an emergency, please hang up and dial 911. Our normal business hours are 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, Monday through Friday. If you have Internet access, the most efficient way to file a price gouging complaint is to file the complaint online. Visit our website at myfloridalegal.com and click on the red price gouging icon. You may also file a price gouging complaint by using the Florida No Scam app, which can be downloaded by visiting the Google Play or the Apple Store. If you do not have Internet access and would like to leave a price gouging message regarding gas, please press 1. To leave a price gouging message regarding water or ice, please press 2.
Wow.
To leave a price gouging message regarding hotel, motel, or other lodging, please press 3. To leave a price gouging message regarding all other services, please press 4. For any non-price gouging complaint, please call back during our normal business hours. Thank you.
Oh, there you go. They got a whole thing set up.
A little long-winded.
Yeah, they got a whole,
They categorize it.
A prompt. You push 1 for this, 2 for that. What about ice cream? I didn't hear ice cream. I
heard ice cubes.
I heard ice cubes, but I didn't hear ice cream.
These ice cubes are nothing but water.
Water or ice cube gouging. What would you press 2 or whatever it was?
Somebody comes to your business, they're from ICE, and you think they're trying to run all your employees? And like, no.
So that's the example. I'll tell you what, you bring up, ice. So we got some things to talk about regarding that later on.
Yeah.
But there we go. That's the No Scam hotline for the Florida Attorney General. And listen, no doubt about it, it's going to happen. I want to say.
Oh, look at this.
Yes.
I'm on Amazon and Aquafina, a pack of 24, almost $50.
Yo. What?
That's a little price gougey, isn't it?
Hold on, that's on Amazon?
Yeah.
Is it
Check
magic water? What?
Hold on, is that sold and shipped by Amazon, or is it sold by a third party? You got
Brand Aquafina. How do I check that?
You
Third
scroll
party?
down. You scroll down and you see if it's sold and shipped, or if it's sold by Amazon, shipped by somebody else, or if it's sold and shipped by somebody else, because that doesn't make sense.
No.
That seems high, but also, hey, it might have been all jammed up even prior to this.
It's shipped from Coastal Bay, sold by Coastal Bay.
Yeah, I don't know who the hell they are.
This is a private person drop shipping or shipping this product.
Right, and it might be all jacked up because of shipping costs, because it's a case of freaking water, but still, that doesn't sound right. If you look at other water, first of all, why are you ordering water from Amazon anyway?
Dude, so I have a friend who Instacarted water to his house like on Thursday and got like 20 cases.
Dude. Are you serious?
And they had it because...
Was it a reasonable price?
Because, Instacart was from the supermarket.
From the supermarket,
He was at work when he got home. The 20 cases were next to his garage.
So listen to this. On Saturday, we went to Publix in South Tampa, the one on Kennedy, because my father-in-law, for all intents and purposes, is in town. He's scheduled to have some surgery at Moffitt on Friday. So I don't even know if that's going to happen. So we stop at Publix on Kennedy, the one where the old Sports Authority used to be, and the water aisle is cleaned out.
Oh, how'd my shelves look? Beautiful?
Those aren't your shelves in Publix, are they?
Yeah.
They are?
Yes, sir.
Okay, well, I took a picture. I put it up on my Instagram.
Oh, lovely. Thanks for promoting my product.
The shelves, if you folks, if you go to I have a couple of things on my Instagram. In fact, did you see me out to dinner with Paul Delgado over the weekend?
Yes, we did.
I have a problem with this.
Yeah, I have a big problem with this.
Dude, he's checking during dinner on Saturday night.
That's not a problem.
Hey,
That's his job.
He's checking every 5 minutes. He's on his phone, checking all the models and everything. We'll get into that in a second. But the point I want to make is I did take a picture of this, and folks, my Instagram is loaded. I'm sure it's going to be even busier during the course of the week. Yeah, give me a follow on my Instagram. It's Certified MJ Radio. Certified MJ Radio is my Instagram account. Give me a follow on that, Certified MJ Radio. The morning show is just MJ Morning Show on Instagram. And I took a picture, and it's on my Certified MJ Radio, of the empty water shelves at Publix. Like nothing there. There were like a couple of bottles of sparkling.
Ugh.
A couple of bottles of sparkling up on the very top. And then on the bottom shelf, there were 2 cases of Liquid Death.
That's called a base shelf.
So, is Liquid Death is a canned water?
It's a canned water. And
That's a very popular can.
and it's called Liquid Death. I mean, I don't know if that's very appropriate right now, but
They made it so people who don't drink, it looks like you're drinking a beer, but it's water.
oh, is that what it is?
Yeah.
Or you're
Oh.
drinking some kind of alcoholic beverage?
Yeah, it looks like, so you could still be cool.
You
and
still
not
be
drink.
cool. Is that what that's about?
Yeah, that's their marketing
Yeah.
platform. I
So
think.
if you want to see the public shelves stripped bare with no water on the shelves, go to my Instagram, Certified MJ Radio, and you'll see 2 cases of Liquid Death on the bottom shelf. I even circled those 2 in a yellow circle as if you couldn't find them.
It's a nice looking run right there. Hey, look at 18-inch base shelves. We're going up to the 16-inch upper shelves. We got the top shelves that can hold well over 800 pounds each.
So you're looking at my image of the shelf.
Look at, that's a nice looking run right there.
The empty shelves at Publix.
I don't know why they go with the hardboard backs instead of the pegboard. You get a lot more merchandising done with the peg.
This is the dumbest picture I've ever seen.
Hold on. You think it's a dumb picture? All right, you hold on to that thought.
I think it's a great picture.
It's the dumbest picture.
Hold on to that thought. Don't lose the thought. Keep the thought. I want to.
Don't worry. It'll still be dumb in a couple of minutes.
All right, also, we got to talk about the Bucks losing yesterday. Just a stupid loss. Come on, stupid. Bucks lost to the Green Bay Packers, and the Packers invade town, and I got a problem with that as well. All right, hold on. So the Green Bay Packers over the Bucks 14-12. We got a lot of stuff, folks. We got Hurricane Ian we're dealing with on all different levels. Your phone calls coming up. We'll speak with the National Hurricane Center coming up. We have a lot. It's a busy, busy Monday here on the MJ Morning Show on Q105. First, though, I want to talk about... MJ Morning Show on Q105, 7:24 here on a Monday as we begin the long chunk of the MJ Morning Show with zero interruption for like the next hour and 20 minutes. So strap in. Now, if you look at the image, Fester, that you have up on the shelf there,
Yeah.
you can see those are the Publix empty shelves from Saturday. So already the water buying spree at Publix had begun. This is the South Tampa Publix, the one on Kennedy, where the old Sports Authority used to be across from West Shore Plaza. And there's no water, zero water left on the shelf, except if you look on top, there's like a couple of bottles of sparkling water. The green, was it like Iron Mountain or something, or some sparkling water, and I've seen it before. And then if you look at the bottom shelf, and I've even circled it in a yellow circle in case you had trouble finding it.
We would have had trouble finding it if you hadn't circled
There
it.
are 2 cases of Liquid Death, which it's a flavored water, right?
I think it's just
sparkling water.
I think it's just regular water.
Water.
Regular water that's
I don't even know if it's sparkling. Oh,
Yeah,
it is. Okay,
Liquid Death sparkling.
Okay, Liquid Death. I've never had Liquid Death water. I've seen it, and when I first saw that, and I saw it a couple of years ago. When I first saw it, I'm like, "Ooh, that's an interesting name for the beverage." And I swore that it was an alcoholic beverage. I thought it was some type of an alcoholic, whether it was an energy drink with alcohol, whatever the story was. But Froggy. And I didn't know this. Froggy just told me this a few minutes ago, that Liquid Death, they make the can look like it's an alcoholic beverage. So you heard, people that...
I mean, that's what I heard of people who drink it. Like, my buddy has cases of that stuff. He loves it.
On their website, it says, "Don't be scared. It's just water." And murder your thirst.
Is that what it says?
Yes.
Their marketing's pretty brilliant.
It says murder your thirst?
Liquid Death mountain water, murder your thirst.
It's supposed to be really good.
So
I've never had it, but...
in the black can is sparkling, mountain water in the white can, and then sparkling with lime in the green can.
Gotcha. I wonder if those 2 cases of Liquid Death are still available at the Publix on Kennedy, because that's all that was left water-wise.
I'm sure that every supermarket water shelf looks like this today. However, I don't know what kind of morons you think your Instagram followers are. I don't know that we needed the yellow alert circle to point out the
thick
3 or 4 cases of Liquid Death.
I took my finger and I did the markup.
We see that.
Yeah.
I did the markup right on my picture. It's up on my Instagram. It's certified MJ Radio. You know what I'd like to do? I'd like to grab some phone calls coming up in just a bit. 800-990-1047. 800-990-1047. And just grab some phone calls as to what you experienced over the weekend. Did you do last-minute prep? Are you still having to do prep? Were people well behaved? I was out on Saturday just doing some last-minute things, and I did buy a new generator on Saturday. And it wasn't really a panic buy per se, because I've been planning on buying a new generator for a while, and this kind of put me...
It's a panic buy.
Well, no,
it's a panic buy.
It kind of put me into more of an immediate buyer versus a tire kicker.
Yeah.
No, I have a smaller Honda generator that I've had for years, and I upgraded, so I have my small Honda, so I'll still have that. But also, I bought a larger 6,200 watt generator, which will, it'll power lights, it'll power a small fridge.
All right, so if there's a massive power outage,
Yes.
and I bring the gas, can I borrow your generator to charge my Tesla?
Ooh, that's a trade right there.
No, you're not going to use my generator.
What? All the times you've driven him to work, you're not going to help
Yeah.
him out?
So
That's a good point.
We're
Sure.
at home this weekend, and I kind of explained to my wife the seriousness of the situation, and she says, "So that means I won't be able to charge the Tesla." I'm like, "No, honey,
Right.
no, that's it. No Tesla."
Hey,
this
do me a
week."
favor, Fester. Grab line 6. Grab 6. National Hurricane Center down in Miami.
This is Fester from the MJ Morning Show on Q105 Radio.
In Tampa Bay.
Fester.
And, so
Take you seriously with that
can we
name.
get one of the forecasters on the air real quick? Yeah, so I meant to do this before 4 non-bloods ended, but I I was preoccupied with a couple other things. So I wanted to get a forecaster on quickly from the National Hurricane Center in Miami. So that's what I just dialed up. And then Fester is speaking to them right now. So Fester, how we doing? We thumbs up, thumbs down?
Hey, this is Fester from the MJ Morning Show on Q105 in Tampa.
Yeah.
We're hoping to...
Will they take Fester seriously when he says this?
No, that's what I just said. Say your name is John.
Yeah.
All right. So, all right, who do we have?
John, what's your last name again?
John Cangelosi on line 6 from the National Hurricane Center.
Fantastic.
Oh.
Hey, John, welcome to the MJ Morning Show. It's Q105 Radio in Tampa Bay. How are you?
Good. How you doing, guys?
All right, John. I know that it's going to be a busy week down there. You know, we've already had Ruskin. We had the National Weather Service in Ruskin on last hour, which is right in our backyard. So, John, let's talk about Hurricane Ian and the 5 a.m. track. We'll have an 8 a.m. intermediate coming out probably in the next 15, 20 minutes or so. But, you know, typically not a lot of change with the intermediates at this point. John, what can you tell our listeners in the broad Tampa Bay area, the latest as far as the 5 a.m. advisory on Ian?
Well, sure. So Ian's a hurricane, as you all know.
Yep.
The system is still down in the Northwest Caribbean, so still a ways away from your area. The closest land is Grand Cayman, and it's about 90 miles southwest of there, moving to the northwest now at 14 miles an hour. And it's a Category 1 hurricane, maximum winds of 75 miles an hour. But as you know, we do expect the storm to get quite a bit stronger during the next couple of days. Our 5 a.m. forecast showed the system rapidly intensifying today and likely being near the west coast or the western tip of Cuba tonight and early Tuesday as a major hurricane. And then as it gets into the Gulf of Mexico later on Tuesday and Wednesday, we expect a slowdown and a bit of a turn more toward the north-northeast. And I think the main thing to highlight for you guys in the Tampa Bay region is that, as you know, we're in a hurricane watch now that was issued overnight collaboratively between the Hurricane Center and the Ruskin office that she spoke about. And we're expecting a couple of things that are very dangerous for the area. One, a major hurricane very near your coastline. Second, a storm that's slowing down substantially, which means you're going to...
All right, John, let me stop you right there for a second. All right, right now, the movement is northwest at 14 miles an hour. Over the weekend, really, when it became a tropical storm, it was moving at about 12. So we saw the speed increase to 14. When you say a major slowing down, what do you guys foresee as far as the forward movement? At what speed is a major slowdown?
Well, yeah. So give you a sense of like what's normal in the area and where we are. So normal, we'll expect a forward speed of 10 to 15 miles an hour, somewhere in that range. So the way it's moving now is about average, more or less. This system, by the time it reaches your area, could be moving closer to 5-7 miles per hour.
Oh my God, that's
that's a significant slowdown. And obviously that causes problems, as you know. I mean, you'll be in the wind longer. Your area and the whole west coast of Florida is very vulnerable to storm surge. So it just means there'll be more water, having an opportunity to come in to places where it shouldn't be. And then you'll just be in the rain for a lot longer. And although we don't have all these details fully ironed out yet because it is very track sensitive, we're just getting more and more confidence that this is going to be a big system for your area and something we hope people take very seriously.
We've been through this drill many times. I've been on the radio here in the Tampa Bay area since 1994. So I've seen and I've been through many close passes. Charlie was coming right for us in 2004 and then hooked right into, Charlotte Harbor, into Port Charlotte, Punta Gorda. So we were getting ready for that one. Now, why, John? I want to pronounce your last name correctly. How do you pronounce your last name?
It's Cangelosi.
Cangelosi?
Correct.
Gotcha. Now, why is this thing expected to slow down? Because if it slows down to 5 to 7, that is a crawl, and it just puts us like in a potential washing machine agitator mode for just a lot longer than a storm that just blasts right through.
So much rain.
Right. So unlike, you referenced Charlie, we're talking 18 years ago now, that was a very different pattern where we had a really big trough, or, you could think of it as a cold front that would sweep it off to the northeast at a pretty good clip. In this case, we don't have that. We have just very weak troughing, or just a weak cold front that sort of that gets situated to your north, and it just leaves what we call a weakness, a very slow steering current for the system that will make it generally drift to the north-northeast or northeast. So we just don't have a powerful current, which means the storm doesn't have a good direction or well-defined current and where to go. So we have pretty good confidence that it's going to be slow. Well, of course, we can't have exact confidence of exactly where it's going to make the landfall, which will matter for surge. But slow motions, we have high confidence in that.
Now, John, obviously, the further offshore, if it does parallel the west coast of Florida here, the further offshore, the better to try to minimize hurricane force winds and the storm surge. And at this point, is there... And I know it's tough to pin you guys down on this. We're still, quite a distance away. Here we're sitting at 7:35 in the morning on Monday, and the projection is to be off of the west coast of Florida here in the Tampa Bay area sometime around 2 a.m. on Thursday. But as far as the track, right now, the track the system has Hurricane Ian off the west coast of Florida in the Gulf. But could this thing take a greater easterly hook and roll right into the Tampa Bay area, or hit south, or hit north faster or quicker? What are your thoughts?
So unfortunately, at this range, all of those scenarios you painted are possible. It's hard to rule any one of those out. And we've seen systems, because it's going to just take a jog to the right or a jog to the left to really make those scenarios that you pointed call out. So we can't decipher at this range which one of those are most likely. So that's why we typically work in probabilities, and we typically try to give people the sense of their risk. And one of the ways I can help kind of communicate this to you is that if we look at your area, let's just pick Tampa for reference. Let me scroll down. We have a product called our wind speed probabilities, which I get it. A lot of people don't like probabilities, but let me communicate to you what's currently in our advisory. So we have a 90% chance for Tampa that they're going to see at least tropical storm conditions, at least. A 62% chance.
Now, when you say Tampa, you're talking about the city of Tampa on Tampa Bay versus Pinellas County, which is St. Pete and Clearwater Beach.
Right. This is just one spot, the city of Tampa.
Right.
A 60% chance of seeing what we call damaging winds, 50 knots or greater, and almost a 40% chance of seeing hurricane force winds. Yesterday, those values, just for reference, were about 20% lower as what they are today. So the trends are not favorable here. But bigger than the wind, for your area, one thing we know for sure is it's a storm surge problem. And here's the thing, even if the storm track's a little left, storm surge is still significant. I mean,
we all know, doing this so long, we know the dirty side is, of course, the upper right, and it's the northeast quadrant. And if this tracks offshore like this, we've got the upper right, which is going to parallel our shore, and that's not good for storm surge.
Right. So at this range, I wish we could give details. I wish we had a sense of that. But at this range, we just got to prepare for a significant hurricane in the whole Tampa Bay listening area for you guys. It's hard to call who's going to see a landfall, and that's why we do these watches, and you'll likely be under a warning later today for a lot of that area. But, I think tomorrow, once this thing gets north of Cuba, we'll be able to iron out which counties and which areas are most under the gun. But at this range, the best message is everybody in that area get ready for a hurricane.
Now, John, I see that the intensification is going to happen quicker than expected, because at this point, you guys are calling for an intensification to a major, which is a Category 3, even before it gets to the western part of Cuba. And then it looks like, and the problem is that part of Cuba, John, is so narrow. We don't have potential mountains to break things up over there as much. And it'll be over Cuba for a short amount of time. And then we're looking at a major hurricane, as it gets into the Florida Straits, as it passes to the west of Key West, and then heads toward the west coast of Florida. You guys have it a major all the way up until really it starts to downgrade as it approaches potentially Cedar Key.
Right. Yeah, and there's good confidence in that, honestly.
Why? Why is that?
Well, just about everything is favorable for the storm to strengthen. We look at these large-scale factors. So obviously the water temperatures are warm. As you mentioned, it's passing over a fairly skinny part, fairly flat part of Cuba. There's plenty of moisture. The wind shear stays relatively light till about central Florida area, where it'll increase north of there. But between where it is now and about central Florida, it's just about everything's pretty favorable for the storm, which means we don't really see a lot of hiccups for this strengthening process to stop until it reaches about where you guys are.
Is this, and I hate to use a cliche like this, but is it sort of a perfect storm scenario setup at this point?
Yeah, this is one of those situations where, again, we wish we could talk specifically about details, but this is one of those situations where our intensity forecast, predicting the strength is a little more confident than the details of the track.
And usually it's the other way around. Usually, historically, over the last years, the track has been a higher confidence level, and the intensity has been what has not been pegged.
Yeah, that is usually the case. But, as we always say around here, every case is a little different. And what we're trying to communicate is the best way for us to communicate is with these watches and warnings we put up in the Weather Service, because they're actionable. What should you do when you're in a hurricane watch? And right now, your area's in a hurricane watch, which means hurricane conditions are possible. Storm surge is a big threat. Slow motion means heavy rain. The best message, if you want something actionable for your listeners, is get ready for a hurricane. We're all Floridians, ourselves included. So,
yep.
We know what to do, but you also got a lot of new population in your area.
And that is very true. The amount of people that have moved from the Northeast into Florida who they've never been through this. I mean, maybe if they were up in New York, they might have been through Superstorm Sandy. But listen, nothing like a Category 3 or a 4 sitting off your coast. And, John, what do you say to the people that have been here for a while and they say, oh, we've been through this drill before, it's going to turn at the last minute? They were through Irma, they were through Charlie back in 2004. What do you say to those folks that say, oh, everyone's panicking, oh, look at these people buying all the water and evacuating? What do you say to those that have been through these drills in the past and the Tampa Bay area has not been hit?
Right. Well, I would say, look to your neighbors to the south. They haven't been as fortunate. For example, think about the Fort Myers area during Charlie, or think about, the people in Naples and Marco Island during Irma, or even over here on the East Coast that experience lots of conditions. The storms that have dodged your area, there's no magic bubble there. It's simply been luck over the years of storms just deviating just enough to spare you. We can't say that's going to happen this time around.
John, I was on the phone, and this is back during Irma, and I was literally on the phone with one of your forecasters. We're live on the radio. It was nighttime. I don't know, it was 7, 8, 9 at night. I'm trying to remember. And I was watching live radar. And as I'm on the phone, I'm watching live radar. And I say to the forecaster, I say, listen, this thing is turning in faster and quicker, and it looks like it is about to move to the east of I-75. And that Irma, the whole dynamics of that storm were changed for the actual west coast of Florida by that storm moving just to the east of I-75. And as we were on the phone, the forecaster was like, yeah, I'm seeing that right now.
Right. Yeah, that's those wobbles that we spoke about. Those little wobbles matter at the last minute, because that could put you from the bad side of the system to the less bad side of the system, or it could put you into the bad side of the system. So and those details we can't resolve at these ranges. So the best thing to do is get ready and be prepared, and then at the last minute the wobbles could make it better or worse for you, but there's just no way to resolve that.
All right, John, last question for you. When do you expect the West Coast to go from a watch to a warning, if you were to guess?
Yeah, that's probably going to happen sometime later today. It could be this afternoon, could be this evening.
Okay. John Cangelosi, am I saying it properly?
You got it, yeah.
All right, John, listen, you've been fantastic. You've been a great explainer, and I hope we're able to get you on during the course of today and during the course of the week. And we're going to be in our broadcast operation for as long as we can. And, John, we really appreciate what you guys do down at the National Hurricane Center down in Miami.
So thank you, and good luck to everybody.
Thank you, John. Man,
That was a good interview, MJ. You asked some good questions. Everything I was thinking in my head, you asked.
He was good.
Yeah, he was
I know
really
that
good.
I know that I know you wanted to try to ask, but I think I got.
Yeah, you got to everything.
I got to everything, but he was good. I'm just being honest. Sometimes you get the forecasters down there that know their stuff. I mean, they really know weather and hurricanes, but they don't do a great on-air presentation.
Or
They can't
sometimes you get the intern. It's
Right.
like, oh, yeah.
No, I don't know. Fester, I don't think I've gotten the National Hurricane Center intern.
Oh, I'm a junior at
You know what? I haven't gotten that.
it's my junior year at University of Miami. I'm really excited to be here.
That never happened.
I'm a weather minor.
Hey, guys.
Yes,
Have you ever been in the
I'm a phys ed major with a weather minor.
Hell yeah.
So what was that?
Have you ever been in the Hurricane Hunter plane?
I have not. You know what? I had an invite years ago to go up in the P3 Orion. The Hurricane Hunters, they used to be based at MacDill.
I thought they were still.
No, last I heard, they moved to Lakeland. So the Hurricane Hunters, which are the P3 Orions, and I think they also have a Gulfstream as well, but they moved a couple of years back. They moved from MacDill Air Force Base to Lakeland. So that's where the Hurricane Hunter flights actually originate from. So, hey, we got to talk about the Bucks. I want to grab phone calls on this as well. I got Michelle undergoing a colonoscopy right now.
Right now?
Michelle's getting her first colonoscopy. So
What a day to pick.
listen, this has been listen. The storm is not going to hit until Wednesday night into Thursday morning if the current track and timing remains. Hey, Andrew, tell calls to hang on. I'll be right with calls in a second. Let me.
You're going to bother her right now?
Let me try to call her.
If she's in the middle of the
No.
colonoscopy.
I think it starts at 8.
Did she do her prep?
Ugh.
Oh,
you take pain meds for it?
She did the prep all day yesterday.
Oh.
Yeah.
Do you take pain meds for a colonoscopy?
I don't know. Do you?
No, you don't take pain meds for a
The
colonoscopy.
Valium or something?
No.
Somebody's been selling a bad bill of goods to you,
No,
Roxanne.
you don't take oxys for a colonoscopy.
Just to relax
All right.
beforehand?
Take these pills
But-
and I'll check you out a little later.
I mean, she's like in pre-op right now, I would imagine. I didn't know whether she could pick up the phone. It is ringing. Oh, you know what?
Leave a message.
That's her.
The mailbox is full and cannot accept.
Two things about Michelle. First of all, that's me on the outgoing message, which has been in place since what? Like the mid-90s? That outgoing message, I swear, has been on there since like 1996 with Alltel.
Mm-hmm.
And then Alltel was picked up by Verizon. And that, leave a message. That's me literally doing that. And I did that years ago. So that's number one. Number two, Michelle keeps her voicemail box full. So no one can leave a message because she doesn't want any damn voicemails.
I do that too.
But you do?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's
So
weird.
Michelle is in pre-op right now. She's got an 8 a.m. colonoscopy. So you know what? Her phone and all of her purse and everything and her keys, everything was probably put in like the locker. The patients put their stuff in a little pre-op prep area, and her phone was probably just going zzz, 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 in a locker at the hospital where she's having her first colonoscopy ever is happening this morning. Yeah, Rox.
I just had a hurricane question.
Yes.
Before we go to Bucks talk. Remember when Anderson Cooper was here? What hurricane was it that he was standing on Kennedy Boulevard and he was like, "This will all be gone tomorrow. You will not see any of this street anymore." Do you remember
was that Anderson Cooper?
Yes, it was.
Hey, do me a favor, Andrew. See if you can find that. See if you can find that on YouTube.
And
I don't remember. You know what? I vaguely remember that happening, but I don't remember exactly which hurricane or when that was.
So if you want to give the media a reputation for alarmist behavior, that would be a good example. But then the contrary to that, talking to John, who we just did, he explained everything in such a good way to understand why you talk about the statistics going up every day, that it's going to head our way, more likely that's going to happen. So I thought he did a good job explaining.
I thought he was great. All right, let's go to phones here before we get to the Bucks and lousy game yesterday. And we got to start scoring some points. Now, granted, we were down, down Mike Evans because of the suspension. I want to go to phones here, folks. So as you've been out over the weekend, as you prepared over the weekend, as you filled in any loose holes, what did you see? I've got some observations we'll get to during the course of the show. Whatever you want to call us on, anything that you noticed, any shopping issues, behavior of people, where you live, whether you plan to evacuate, what are your thoughts? Are you one of the individuals like, oh, we've been through this before, it's where everyone's going to get prepared again and it's not going to hit us? I don't think that's the right mindset to have because, this thing is going to either parallel or hit somewhere along the West Coast. It's not going to fizzle out and go away. 800-990-1047. The number to get in here on the MJ Morning Show, 800-990-1047. That is how you join us. So we'll take all calls, any calls, whatever you want to talk to us about. Any observations, any questions, if we can help you out, we're happy to help out. But how about shopping over the weekend? How about hitting the supermarket? What was Costco and Sam's and BJ's like? Is everyone remaining fairly well behaved? What were your gas issues over the weekend? What preparations do you still need to make? Any tips for people? 800, again, when we take calls like this and we just open up the phones, you're going to get a wide variety. So any aspect of this, we'd love to take your phone calls right now. 800-990-1047 is how you get in on the MJ Morning Show here on Q105. Of course, by now you should know schools are closed today in a lot of the Tampa Bay area. Some are open, though. You've got Hillsborough County schools are closed today through Thursday. And then if we get hit on Thursday or we have effects on Thursday, it remains to be seen what's going to happen on Friday. Pinellas County schools are open today. There are some early closures for some Pinellas County schools. There are a few closures as they try to get shelters ready, but Pinellas County is typically open today. You got a couple of closures, but Pinellas County will be closed on Tuesday and Wednesday. We haven't heard about Thursday yet. Pasco is open today, closed Tuesday and Wednesday right now. Polk County is open today and Tuesday. But likely schools will be closed on Wednesday and Thursday. Manatee open today. Sarasota open today. Hernando open today. Citrus open today. As far as local colleges and universities, UT is closed today through Sunday. University of South Florida, classes canceled today through Thursday. So those are the major universities here in the Tampa Bay area. Every line is jammed. Every phone is jammed. Let's go right to your phone calls here on the MJ Morning Show and say hi to Jennifer. Jennifer's been holding a while. Jennifer in Palm Harbor. Thank you, Jennifer. You're on the MJ Morning Show. Hi.
Hey, well, it's been crazy. I work at a preschool in Clearwater, and some of the parents, when they were picking up Friday evening, were saying some stores in the Clearwater area and gas stations were out of gas and water as of Friday. My mom and I went out Saturday just to do some stuff and fill up tanks and stuff. And there's a gas station on Main Street in Belcher that was out of gas Saturday, still out of gas today.
Really? Because stations that got hit and there was a run on gas, those stations would typically have been refilled over the weekend. So you're saying that on Main Street, you said in Dunedin?
Yeah, Main Street and Belcher. That one has not been refilled because the bags are still covering the pump.
Wow.
They're reading $0 signs. I know the Shell station by me in Palm Harbor was out over the weekend, and they got refilled because people were filling up this morning. But, yeah, that station is still out today, and I knew they were out since Saturday.
Yeah, I know that the fuel tanker companies, they're going to be working overtime. They're going to be running trucks all day today, all day tomorrow. They're going to try to make sure that the stations are supplied. You know, the one issue with the stations is if the stations lose power, the pumps don't work. But I remember there was an initiative. Wasn't there a requirement, Fester, that all gas stations had to get a generator at some point so the pumps could work? Do we
I don't know if that was for new construction ones only or.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember.
I mean, I can tell you the existing one by my house that doesn't have a generator. It was built in the 70s. You know.
Yeah, but I thought there was a need to retrofit or a push or a requirement, but we can nail that down in just a bit. Hey, Jennifer, thanks for phoning in. Stay safe and stay with the MJ Morning Show, okay?
I have been since the beginning many, many years ago, and I never leave it.
Well, Jennifer, thank you. We appreciate you being part of the MJ Morning Show family. Have a great one. Let's grab Brandon in Sarasota. Brandon, you're on the MJ Morning Show on Q105. Hi.
Hey, good morning. First-time caller, long-time listener. Thanks for having me.
Thanks, Brandon. Go ahead.
I just don't understand why people keep going to the store to buy this stuff. I mean, they went last storm, and they understand they live in a hurricane place. Why are we doing all this the day up? I have my stuff saved back from 2 hurricanes.
All right, I don't know if I appreciate your uppity attitude and all of
Hey,
this.
Fester. Hey, Fester. Hey, Fester.
Why do people
Fester, back it down because they do. Hold, Fester.
Everybody knows people
Everybody's
procrastinate.
different. He's not a procrastinator.
Well, hang on. Let's have a conversation with Brandon instead of you getting all uppity over there.
This is the third little pig that built his house out of bricks. That's who this is.
All right, Fester, calm down over there. All right, Brandon, you're 100% right. You have the people that prepare, and then you've got a large segment of the population that are, last-minute Larrys or last-minute Lucys,
Well, I mean, I buy stuff for the storm that I don't eat. Like, I don't drink the $1 for 25 packs of water. That's garbage water. That's just there for, I guess I need some water.
Yep.
That stuff that I bought 5 years ago, that's stored ready to go. I buy packs of Top Ramen. I had my days. I don't need Top Ramen anymore, but it's stocked and ready for worst-case scenario.
Brandon, what does your alcohol supply look like in your house?
Yeah, right?
Oh, I've got it stored. The bourbon, the scotch, my cigars. That's always ready to go.
See, that's another thing, MJ. Think of how packed, Total Wine and More is going to be tonight.
Well, that's the question.
Yeah.
Alcohol supply.
All right, thanks.
Hey, Brandon, thanks for the call, buddy. I appreciate it.
Thank you. Have a good day.
Hey, you bet. Thanks for calling in. Amanda is in Zephyr Hills. Amanda, you're on the MJ Morning Show. Hi.
Hi.
Amanda, welcome to the program. Your thoughts, please?
So with the water situation being completely out, if you have
Now, since you're in Zephyr Hills, can you just dig a hole and does water just come out of the ground? Zephyr Hills water?
Oh, I wish it was that clean, but unfortunately we do not get the clean water. It's pretty regulated down pat over at this.
All right, so what were we going to say about water?
If you have a 1 gallon, 3 gallon, 5 gallon jug, if you go to Walmart, or I'm not sure about other stores, but they have the Primo water filler.
Yeah, they have that big machine. It's like a big vending machine, and you can put your own
5-gallon jug in there,
container in there to get the water for a relatively small price.
Yeah. So if you're freaking out because there's no water on the shelves and you're kind of new to the area, or you just don't realize that that's a thing, that's a great way to get big quantities of water, especially for a cheaper price.
Yeah, if you have the container. So
yeah, which you can get them on Amazon. Walmart also sells them over in their weird misc area. That's where it's the mini fridges are and stuff, or where you can get an actual water thing.
Yep.
They also have pumps that you can just put on top of it.
I think all good advice, all good suggestions. Hey, Amanda, I also want to recommend that everyone gets a battery-powered radio at this point. Amanda, thanks for the call. Now, if you don't have a battery-powered radio, you still have time. And at this point, probably Amazon, if you could go on to Amazon and you can get a battery-powered radio, make sure you have batteries for it. So with Amazon, if you're a Prime member, I'm guessing that you probably will find some battery-powered radios that can get delivered even today, because you can have this. Some of these items are same-day delivery with Amazon, but certainly you should be able to get an Amazon delivery by tomorrow. So I would just suggest that if you don't have a battery-powered radio, I'm talking about an old-school handheld radio, whether it's like I'm trying to think like a Walkman style, or whether it's more of a little like a
tabletop, like
little tabletop, or I mean there are tons of radios available on Amazon. They got tons of these things. So go on Amazon. I'd say go to Radio Shack, but there's no freaking Radio Shack anymore. But if you go on Amazon, there are going to be tons of options for battery-powered radios. They even make the hurricane or the storm radios. Buy what's right for you. But if you don't have a battery-powered radio, it's always great to have one, so you can get information. Now, in a bad storm, not all stations are going to remain on the air, but you should be able to find some stations that are on the air, and you're going to get emergency information. Get a battery-powered radio. Go to Amazon or wherever else. I just know that Amazon, you can probably get some deliveries even today or certainly by tomorrow. Get a radio and get batteries. Make sure if they're AA's, if they're AAA's, if they're C's or D's, make sure you have the right batteries and make sure you have a little backstock. And of course, the flashlights, that's a given, obviously. All right. And listen, I have 2 battery banks. I've got 2 fully charged, Anchor battery banks. So if we do lose power, that hopefully I'll have enough battery bank power to charge up my phones for a time. I do have a generator, so I can always, turn the generator on to, charge my cell phones as well. But there are so many little bits and pieces here. All right, we're going to go back to the phones in a second. I got to give out the Cashbox word here in just a second. But we will go to phones in just a second. If you're on hold, stand by. If you want to try to get in, 800-990-1047. 800-990-1047 is how you get in. All lines are busy now. You'll get a busy signal, but when somebody drops off, try to get in. And again, we're taking calls from everyone and anyone with an angle, a story, an observation. All right, quickly here, let me give you the Q105 Rock the Cash Box word here. This hour's word is fan. This hour's word is F-A-N, fan. Text that nationwide to 45911 before 8:15 for a shot at $1,000 cash, or you can enter it on the Q105 app or at myq105.com. The word is fan, F-A-N, texted nationwide to 45911. Yeah, Fester.
A battery-operated fan. That's a good idea. I'm glad that's the word for today.
It's a very tense situation. You know what might lighten the mood?
What?
The Rock the Cash Box song.
I'm not playing the Rock the Cash Box song.
It'll make everybody feel better.
No.
It'll be like a fun button thing.
No, I'm not.
That's a fun button.
I'm not pushing the Cash Box thing.
This is what happens when you go to a voiceover talent with a coupon. Here's the whole promo for the Rock the Cash Box.
Rocky. Oh, I'm sorry. I said Rocky. No, it's Becky.
Becky.
Becky's in Hudson. Hey, Becky, you're on the MJ Morning Show. Hi.
Hi, good morning.
Morning.
I wanted to thank you for having that gentleman on who clearly explained what we're up against in the Tampa area. I thought he was really clear, and it made me a little bit more nervous, but I feel like he gave it to us all pretty straight.
100%.
Yeah, and I even said that when we hung up with John down at the National Hurricane Center in Miami, I thought that his radio skills and his clear communication, I thought, were fantastic. So when we call down there, and again, we're going to have folks here on the MJ Morning Show on Q105 WRBQ-FM Tampa Bay. We have ABC Action News at our disposal. In fact, I just got a text from Greg D., who's the morning meteorologist. Hang on, let me just text him back. We will call you at 8:09. Okay, so we're going to call... We'll have Greg D. on from the ABC Action News Weather Center. We'll have him on in about 6 minutes. I just sent him a text. So we have the resources of ABC Action News. We have the resources of the National Weather Service in Ruskin, which we had on in the 6 o'clock hour. And then, of course, we have access to the National Hurricane Center in Miami. And we're going to be using all of our resources during the course of this week to get everyone ready and prepared, just so we have the best and latest information.
Well, thank you for that, MJ, and I sure hope that people take this storm seriously.
Well, we should take everyone seriously, and I know that a lot of people are saying, oh, we've had these brushes in the past. But again, where it is now, something is going to get hit in Florida. The West Coast is going to get hit, or it's going to be up in the Panhandle or the Big Bend. It all depends on the tracking. There's no way for this thing to like go in a different direction. It's not like it's out in the Atlantic and it's going to hook and head up to the middle of the Atlantic. This thing is heading into the Gulf, and it is a closed area. It's got to hit somewhere.
And it was interesting what John said. They can tell how fast or how slow it's going to move. They can predict that with a lot of accuracy. So it's going to be slow moving, which creates more problems for everybody.
Well, and that's another good observation, folks. And if you didn't hear, and we'll go back to the phones in a second here, if you did not hear John Cangelosi from the National Hurricane Center, this storm is expected to slow down to 5 to 7 miles an hour as it comes close to the Tampa Bay area. That is like worst case almost as far as speed, because you want these things just to get
Whip
in,
through.
get out, and let's get on with our lives. And in this case, that could prolong it by hours, where we're just getting beaten up with heavy rain and heavy wind and storm surge for a longer period of time. So that's the last thing I wanted to hear, was that this storm is expected to slow down to 5 to 7 miles an hour as it comes by the Tampa Bay area, hopefully as far offshore as possible.
That's like Harvey. Remember Hurricane Harvey?
Yeah.
That's why it just clobbered Houston, because it just sat there.
All right, 800-990-1047 is how you get in. 800-990-1047 is how you call into the MJ Morning Show. Christine is in Lakeland. Hey, Christine, you're on the MJ Morning Show. Hi.
Hi, I just also wanted to mention to you, while you were talking about the battery-operated radios, the delivery for Prime is either Friday or Saturday.
Oh, wait a second.
They won't get it in time.
Hold on. You're saying that
Yeah.
Amazon Prime is now Friday or Saturday?
Yeah, that's what it's showing me, like for battery-operated radios, because I'm originally from Connecticut, so this is my first hurricane.
Wow. All right,
So
hold on a
now-
sec. Let me. I've got my phone in my hand. Let me try this out. I tried it last night, and it looked good.
Yeah, so I'm on the same site, MJ.
I'm logged into my Prime. So but let me just confirm. Battery radio. All right. So I'm hitting it in my Prime right now, and oh man, Friday, Saturday, yeah. Look at this. This was not like this yesterday when I checked yesterday. Oh wow. All right. Well, that's going to be a little too late. Saturday, October.
And I just came from Lakeland Walmart, and they ran out of water. So,
Wow.
people
Hey,
out here, yeah. So,
Christine, I want to thank you for calling me, because late last night I was on Amazon, and as of yesterday, I had Prime deliveries that could have been delivered today or Tuesday, and now that's all changed. Now I'm seeing Saturday, Friday. Oh wow.
yeah.
Oh wow.
I didn't even think about a radio thing, but until you said it, so while I was sitting, I said, let me look, and that's not going to help.
So, Christine, as we're talking right now, I just typed in the word batteries
Yeah, what
into
about-
Amazon. Batteries, October 1st.
Oh, look at this.
October 1st.
See, this is where Amazon really could have stepped up, though, and had stuff available today, tomorrow. But the issue is they're probably so overwhelmed they physically can't deliver all of the orders that would be coming in now.
Also, at what point does the driver say, screw these people, I have my own family to take care of?
Yeah, the heck with Jeff Bezos. I'm out of here.
Yeah, seriously.
Yeah. Hey, Christine, thanks for the call. I appreciate it. All right, that opens up a line at 800-990-1047. 800-990-1047. Now, Angela, Tony, Bill, Rachel, Michelle, everyone that's on hold, hang on a second. I want to call Greg D. He's got a window right now. Greg D. is the morning meteorologist on ABC Action News, and Greg is standing by for our call. All right, hang on. Let me grab Greg. All right. Okay, I'm literally dialing up Greg as we speak. And it is 8:09.
Greg D. I am unable to take your call right now, so please
hang on a sec. he said 8:09, so it is 8:09. Hang on. All right, give it one more shot.
You have reached Greg D. I am unable to take your call right now.
Okay, I
Try
guess.
it one more time. It just turned 8:09.
I mean, it's 8:09 and a half. Maybe, did you specify a second?
Hang on a minute. Let me try Greg D one more time.
According to the Naval Observatory time, it's 8:09 and 17 seconds, 18 seconds.
You have reached Greg D. I am unable to take your call.
Here,
Maybe he's calling us.
Hang on a minute. Hang on. Hold on. I just got a text from him. Hang on. Okay. Oh, he's ready now. Okay.
In bathroom.
Here
Told you.
Now he says he's ready. All right. Hold
It's
on.
still 8:09, by the way, so he's on time.
I mean, next time, can he specify 8:09 and 40 seconds? Because that's where we are right now.
All right.
You have reached Greg D.
Jesus.
What's happening?
Greg, your
Listen,
phone.
MJ, listen, stop.
Yeah.
Text him our hotline and have him call us because I can't do this all day.
I don't
love you, Greg.
understand why it's not going through.
He must be in a bad cell area
Yeah.
in that big old ABC 28 building.
Okay, I'm going to tell him, call us. Let me give him a... Festa, you guys fill some airtime while I text this real quick.
Yeah, listen.
Okay, I found some other ways to say hunker earlier today.
No, I don't want to hear it.
So hold on. Texting.
This is worthwhile.
Is it hunker or hunker down? Which one did you find the thesaurus to?
Well, the thing is people say hunker down, but
Yeah.
this is a thesaurus for hunker.
Okay.
So let me just find this, but it's very crouch would be one way, and that doesn't really apply, right?
Sure,
'Cause we're not
hunker
gonna
down,
crouch
crouch
during
down,
a
hunker
during a
down.
game.
Yeah, sure.
Duck, grovel, bend.
But by the way,
bow,
folks,
tower.
by the way,
Bend down. Was it a joke?
Hang on a sec. Roxanne used the term hunker down earlier this morning, and I told Roxanne, please never use the word hunker or hunker down on the morning show.
Yeah.
All right. Hey, Greg, MJ, and the crew here live. Thanks for phoning in.
Hey there, guys. Good morning.
All right, folks, it's Greg D. from ABC Action News. Yeah, we tried your cell phone, but it went to voicemail like 5 times. But
Okay.
yeah, not a problem. Hey, so, Greg, we had John Cangelosi from the National Hurricane Center. We had him on about, 35 minutes ago. And, he was telling us they expect this thing to slow down at potentially 5 to 7 miles an hour as it approaches us.
Yeah, that is a big concern I'm really seeing, and I think that's the most concerning part is that as it approaches our coast, it's going to slow down. So the storm is going to be at about the level of, let's say, Englewood or Sarasota on Wednesday morning. It may not even get to, let's say, the Tarpon Springs level of our coast until Thursday morning, 24 hours. So we're looking at an extended duration of tropical storm force winds, and our biggest concern is actually not the wind, is that during that time, the wind is going to be pushing water toward the coast. So if it stays out in the Gulf of Mexico, like the Hurricane Center is forecasting, we will be looking at a surge, and a significant surge at that. And that concerns me because a lot of folks in this area have never seen a surge like this before.
So the last surge of this potential nature, would it have been back in 1921?
Correct. So we if you guys remember, we had some flooding in Ada a
Right.
couple years ago.
Yep.
So that was about a third of the type of flooding that this could bring.
All right, so this could be the 100-year storm that we hear about.
It could be. I mean, it literally on this track, and if it were to make landfall here, which is still possible, it would be that 100-year landfall, that the first major hurricane in 100 years to make landfall here. But I don't want to focus on the landfall because it's not really important. Even if it stays 20 miles offshore, 30 miles offshore, the surge threat, that remains. And then for most of us, if you don't live near the coast, it's power outages. You remember Irma, so many folks lost power for such a long period of time. It's that kind of a deal for folks that are not at the coast.
Greg, you bring up power. I live in South Tampa, and a lot of South Tampa with Irma, the power was on. So South Tampa, a lot of the power remained on, or if it was off, it was on fairly quickly. In my area, off of West Shore Boulevard, there was a big old oak tree that fell down and took out power lines on a side street. And even though I was multiple blocks away from there, it affected our street. We were off for like 3 or 4 days at my house, and it was a pain in the neck. And
that's the tricky part about power outages. You cannot predict where what tree is going to fall, right? So that's why all of us need to prepare for extended power outages. And here's the difference between now and Irma. In Irma, the stronger part of the storm was east of 75 in Polk and Highlands County. With Ian, the stronger part of the storm will be west of 75. So Tampa, St. Pete, Clearwater, we will see the stronger storm. Not Lakeland, not Avon Park, not Lake Wales, not Davenport. It's the coast that's going to see the stronger storm this time.
All right, folks, we're on with Greg D., the morning meteorologist on ABC Action News, Channel 28. Greg, what are your...
guys, I got to run. I got about 30 seconds till my next hit.
Okay, so you got to go back on TV. Understood. When is your next availability?
In a few minutes.
Okay, we'll call you back later on.
I'll get back with you.
Okay, thanks. All right, so that's Greg D. from...
Okay.
He's got to go live on TV.
Yeah.
I had more questions for him, so maybe I'll ask you, MJ, because you seem like you know a lot about this stuff. So, he was
I'm
kind of...
fake meteorologist MJ.
Well, you're doing a good job. So he was talking about the worst case scenario, that 100-year storm that we haven't, seen since 1921.
Yeah, the last direct hit that we took was 1921, folks. That is 101 years ago, 1921. I mean, the year after women got the right to vote, wasn't it 1920, right?
And now look at us. And so in Hurricane Elena, one of the texters was asking about Hurricane Elena. Would that be a comparable storm? I know that's going back to 1985. Greg probably wasn't covering.
I wasn't here either. So
you weren't here then?
No,
okay.
I got here in 94, so I was not here for Elena.
Because he described the worst case scenario. What's the least worst case scenario?
The whole thing fizzles out over Cuba.
Or that it takes a turn somewhere else. That's what we're hoping for. Or that the intensification does not reach the major status of a 3 or a 4, or, God forbid, a 5, but hopefully we don't get to the major status. But even offshore as a 1 or a 2, you're going to have some significant flooding. What just sucks is that this thing moving that slowly at 5 to 7 miles an hour, that is just a problem because it keeps us just getting battered and battered with potential wave action, storm surge, flooding, and winds for just an extended period of time versus a storm rolling at 15, 18 miles an hour or 17 miles an hour, which just gets through a whole lot quicker. This storm could be sitting on top of us for 3 times longer than other tropical systems in the past. All right, back to your phone calls. If you want to get in, folks, 800-990-1047, 800-990-1047. If you're in a flood zone, if you're in an evacuation zone, you want to make plans to get out because, again, the water and the storm surge is what kills. You look at Hurricane Katrina, it's not the wind, it's the storm surge, it's the flooding. That's what kills people. Let's go back to phones, and I want to thank everyone for phoning in and being patient. Angela is in Largo. Angela, you're on the MJ Morning Show on Q105. Hi.
Good morning, MJ. How are you today?
Doing well. Go ahead.
So me and my husband decided to go out and get some water on Saturday. We went to our local Sam's Club, and there was probably about 100 people in line. We waited probably about 20 to 30 minutes, and they were not limiting the water. The person in front of us, as we got closer to the line, walked up and they said, "We have 3 cases left," and they're like, "We'll take them all." And so the person in front of us, after waiting all that time, got the last 3 cases on Saturday.
Let me tell you what happened, Angela. I'm glad you called in because I was at Costco on Saturday, and I was at Costco on Saturday night just before closing at the Clearwater location right at US 19 and Gulf to Bay. I was over in Pinellas County getting something done at like 7:30, and then I was able to hit Costco before they closed at 8:30. So I was in line, and I picked up some batteries. I picked up just a few things. I got a whole bunch of additional D cells because my D cells were kind of on the expiry side of things. And I got a fresh set, and all the water was gone. all the water was gone at Costco, and while I was in line, the person in front of me was asking, hey, what's going on with the water? And the cashier at Costco said, everything went out quickly today, and people were buying all of it. And the guy said, were you not limiting? He said, no, there were no limits on water. This was on Saturday, and he said, another truck is coming in overnight for Sunday morning. So Costco was to have more water yesterday morning. And then he said that he was hearing that the limits were going to go into effect for the delivery. But so no limits, at least at Costco on Saturday, but they intended to add the limits yesterday. And I'm sure that the limits will be in effect as they're going to get as much supply as they possibly can, because we still have a couple of days to prepare for whatever happens. Now, folks, I always say this, and Angela, hang on a sec. I always say this. I hope to hell that we got prepared for this and nothing happened, or we got prepared for it and the effects were a lot less or minimalized over what we expected. I hope that's the case. You know, I'm not one of these individuals where, man, I prepped all week for this thing. I was so ready for it, and I didn't get all kinds of flooding and damage. Well, good. I don't want flooding and damage. I want the effects to be minimal, but we have to get prepared for it, and we're in a tough spot. Listen, we're broadcasters. The MJ Morning Show, we're an entertainment program. However, the MJ Morning Show has demonstrated over the decades, that's right, I said decades, that we can handle anything. We were with you on 9/11, and people still come up to me and email me to this date that we were their lifeline on 9/11. We were on the air from 6 a.m. until 8 p.m. that day on 9/11, nonstop. We were all talk nonstop the whole day. And then also with this hurricane coverage, you know, we can pivot. We have the ability to be the fun MJ Morning Show and also deliver information that is, I think, on par or better than anyone else out there. So, Angela, anything else before I let you roll?
Well, I just went to my third gas station to gas up my car. The first two places I went to were out of the cheapest unleaded gas totally.
Yep. Did you have to put in a higher price grade?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
All right, Angela, you're in Largo, right?
Correct.
So where are the gas stations that were out of gas in Largo? Which ones?
The racetrack on West Bay, the 7-Eleven on West Bay in Missouri, and I'm now at the Wawa on Missouri, and they have
mid-grade and premium, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Angela, thanks. Stay safe, and thanks for checking with us.
Thank you. Thanks for all you guys do.
Our pleasure. It's what we do. It's just automatic. Tony is in Tampa. Tony, you're on the MJ Morning Show on Q105. Hi, Tony.
Hey, man, I forgot what I called you for. No, I'm only kidding.
I know. You've been on hold for a while, but I appreciate it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, believe it or not, I'm off Mobley Road on Odessa on a line. I'm probably the 200th car to get sand.
All right, so you're on. Okay, so you're in Odessa, and you're about the 200th car in line to get sandbags.
Exactly. I mean, I've been just sitting here. Nobody moves, very slowly, but hey, I need it.
All right, Tony, if you got to do what you got to do. Tony, thank you for checking in.
No, and I call you for something else. Though.
Oh yeah, go ahead. Tony, I don't want to hang up on you, Tony. Go ahead.
No, man, no, I forgot that. This is what I called you for. Yesterday, it was hard to find water, but I went to Lowe's to get something, and then I had to go to Home Depot, and they both have hundreds of pallets of water, especially the Lowe's waters by the veterans. The same thing with the Home Depot in Hillsborough and Henley down that way. They have hundreds of pallets of water, and gas is no shortage around where I live.
Oh, that's good.
Plenty of water there.
All right, so good tip. Water.
Lowe's has it.
Yep.
And now the name of the water is Lowe's Water. That's a brand, Lowe's Water.
Yeah, they private labeled it.
Yeah, they private label. It's going to be
going
to be an ultra filtered municipal water supply probably.
Yeah,
and
don't think it comes from the Lowe's gutters, Tony.
It comes from the Lowe's Springs in the Appalachian Mountains.
Right. One of my house comes from my faucet.
All right, thank you, Tony.
Hey, Tony, thanks, buddy. Hey, stay safe, and and I hope you're not in line too long. Thanks. So he's in Odessa getting sandbags, and he's like, he says the 200th car in line. Let's grab Bill. Bill's on I-4, or looks like Bill's on I-4 somewhere. Hey, Bill, you're on the MJ Morning Show. Hi.
Good morning, MJ, and thank you. I've listened to your show going to work and coming home in the afternoon. You have a great cast of characters.
Thank you, buddy.
You're welcome. I just wanted to say that yesterday in Kissimmee, I live in Davenport, and so we went to, let's say, Kissimmee Sam's Club. Shortly after it opened, a line of people around the building. Once we got in, though, we were in and out in a short amount of time, but they limited the cases of water to 3, and they had it set up in such a way that you were like a plane was being routed into its terminal. You go one way, here's the line, and they throw in your carriage for you. There's no lifting, and you're in and out in a pretty decent amount of time.
Yeah, I mean, that's good. When they can maximize efficiency and get sort of an assembly line going, because it's the same repetitive action, and you want to get as many people in and out as possible, I think that's just efficient, and I think we ought to thank stores that are able to set up necessities like that to be able to get it done quickly and to serve as many people as possible.
I had lived through Hurricane Agnes in 1972 when I born and raised in Pennsylvania when I was a kid. That was horrendous. I did live through and again gotten through Irma, so this should be interesting here. So I hope everybody is safe, especially out towards the coast.
Yeah, again, it looks like it's going to be an off-the-coast event, which this could just be a long period of hours and hours with a slow-moving storm that could pound the coast. But then again, it is still below Cuba. This storm is still at a latitude that is near the Belize, Yucatan, Mexico border. It has not gotten to Cuba yet. It's got to cross Cuba, pass to the west of the Keys, and then head into the Gulf toward the west coast. And most certainly there are going to be jogs in the actual path. The pathway is not going to be, you can almost say this with certainty, it's not going to be exactly as they're showing it. They're going to be jogs, and we just don't know what's going to happen. But again, what is disconcerting, though, is that this storm is going to be moving very slowly, is what's predicted at 5 to 7 miles an hour, when a lot of times you've got these hurricanes which will roll through at 13, 14, 15 miles an hour. So this could be battering the coast or for wherever it hits for a much longer period of time. Hey, buddy, thanks for the call, Bill, and stay safe, okay?
All right, thank you. You be safe.
800-99, that opens up a line, by the way, 800-990-1047, 800-990-1047. That's how you get into the MJ Morning Show. Any observations? Where are you in the Tampa Bay area? What was your supply gathering like over the weekend? Hopefully you had most everything. You're just filling in holes. Hopefully you're not trying to do everything at the last minute here. And again, we hope that this is over preparation. My God, I hope that this is just another drill over preparation. But the forecast path and the fact that this is supposed to be off our coast as a major hurricane is, well, it's disconcerting. You got to be ready for this, because we could see effects that we have never seen in the Tampa Bay area during our lifetime. So, yes, Rox.
I want to talk to a meteorologist and find out what makes it get stronger or weaker, because our best hope is that it just weakens.
Okay, what makes it stronger is the warm waters in the Gulf,
well,
right?
All the conditions. It's upper level winds, it's shear, it's any dry air that's entering from parts of the atmosphere. There are just a lot of factors that will determine the strength. Speed and the strength of the hurricane. Because right now, with the warm Gulf waters sitting at, the Gulf waters, 86, 87 degrees? Or, I know there's a site that'll tell us what the water temp is up and down the coast, but the waters are bathwater warm, and that's a problem. All right, let's go back to phones. 800-990-1047 is how you get in when a line opens up. 800-990-1047 for the MJ Morning Show. Let's grab Tom in Seminole. Tom, you're on the MJ Morning Show. Hi.
Hey, how's it going, guys?
Going well, Tom. Go ahead.
Yep, I was in my local grocery store standing in the communist bread line, or the water line, as you could call it.
Yep.
And I noticed an old lady who had already got her water, and she was now in the bread aisle. Well, she was studying the labels pretty hard, and a younger girl came up and took her water out of the cart without her seeing it, and then proceeded to go check out.
Are you kidding me? So she had water in her cart. She was not paying attention to her cart, and somebody snatched the water out of her cart?
Yeah.
Because there was what? Because there was no more water on the shelf?
No, it was just a long line, and that would have been
Oh.
inconvenient to wait in,
Oh, my God.
Wow.
That is horrific.
I pointed it out, though, and the manager hooked her up. She didn't have to go back in line.
That is insane. And what about the woman that grabbed the lady's water? What happened to her?
She was talking on the phone, chewing her gum real loud. Who knows?
They should have shut her down and made her go to the back of the line.
Yeah,
She's a
I
survivalist.
thought that was pretty wild.
Listen to you guys. Make her go to the back of the line.
It's terrible.
How old was the lady?
She's like Lord of the Flies supermarket edition.
Piggy. Yeah, well, the old lady was probably 80, 90. I don't know. She was pretty old. I couldn't believe she was pushing the shopping cart with 24 packs of water in it.
My God. Hey, buddy, thanks for checking in. That's a crazy story.
Take care.
Thanks, Tom. Let's grab Scott in St. Pete. Scott, you're on the MJ Morning Show on Q105. Hi.
Hey, good morning. How are you doing?
Doing well. Go ahead.
Good, good. Hey, I just wanted to bring back the witch doctor, and I just wanted to say, get the storm.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, remember.
It's a whammy doctor.
Yeah, not the witch doctor. The whammy doctor. Yeah.
If you're going to use a 20-year-old reference, get it right, Scott.
Yeah, the whammy doctor with the ba la 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 la. Yeah. Unfortunately, he passed back in like the mid 2000s.
He's dead now. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, but I just wanted to bring that back so we can just get the storm out of here, fellas. You know what? I love you guys my whole life, so I just appreciate everything you guys do. You're really informative, and you guys are the bomb.
Scott, thank you, buddy. I do appreciate it. Stay safe. Keep in touch with us. Opens up a line, 800-990-1047, 800-990-1047. Jerome is in Tampa. Hey, Jerome, you're on the MJ Morning Show on Q105. Hi.
Good morning, everybody. I just want to talk about the aftermath. Everybody that seems to get killed during the storm is well known, but after the storm, plenty of people get injured and killed with the down power lines and the down communication lines that are energized because there's power laying on everybody else's wires.
Right. That is a very good point, to be conscious of if we do have down power lines, be very conscious of that. And also on my list to discuss, and this is a good time to interject, is if you do use a generator, we always seem to have carbon monoxide poisoning deaths. So if you have a generator, it's always a good idea to have a portable carbon monoxide detector, or hopefully there's one that might be hardwired in your house. But the most important thing, when you use a generator, if you lose power, is you can't run the generator in your garage. You can't run the generator in the house. I mean, that should go without saying, but you don't want to die from carbon monoxide poisoning, and it seems to happen all the time. Even sometimes people having a generator near an open window. There have been instances where people were poisoned with carbon monoxide. So, again, you need to operate a generator. If it comes down to losing electricity and using a gas-powered generator, make sure it is completely in the open and well ventilated, and there's no CO issue. Carbon monoxide is CO as compared to carbon dioxide, which is CO2. Hey, buddy, good call on the power lines. I really appreciate it.
Thank you.
And with
Thanks,
your
Joel.
generators, check the oil every 100 hours and check the oil twice a day. Change the oil every 100 hours.
Yeah, so you need to make sure that you have,
Wow.
yeah.
It's like a boat.
Well,
So I remember back in 2014, there was a story about the city of Largo, my favorite Pinellas County.
hey, if you're on
hamlet.
hold, hang on one sec. Caitlin, Abby, Yvonne, Doug, Michelle, all the others, and Jerome's line already got filled up. Everyone, hang on. We're going back to phones in a second. Fester.
In 2014, almost 10 years ago, 8 years ago, the city of Largo made a purchase of snowplows, and they caught nothing but crap for snowplows because the last time it snowed in Largo was never. But they bought it to clear the streets of debris. After a storm like this, there's going to be a lot of downed trees, potentially. There's going to be a lot of building supplies, a lot of cars that may be moved.
A snowplow is going to blow a car out of the way?
A snowplow will move a lot of things out of the way. It'll clear a couple of roads.
This will blow tree branches through people's windows.
You're going to wish you lived in Largo because of the snowplows.
Does Largo still have those snowplows?
I'll have to call the Largo Emergency Operations Center, which is like right next to that park in downtown.
That's a good point. Hey, we got to talk about the Bucks as well. I want to go back to phones, but keep in mind the Bucks who lost yesterday. Give me 2 seconds here, because is there going to be a Bucks game on Sunday? We have another local game The Bucks game is scheduled for Sunday. It's the nighttime game. It's the Sunday night football game.
Who cares about that?
For Sunday, and it's the Bucks with the Chiefs visiting. And, depending on what happens, will we have a football game? Do you know that TPD? Do you know they store like all of the TPD motorcycles, like the whole motor squad? All the motorcycles are stored inside of Ray J.
Really?
Yeah, they'll even bring, and I don't know if they're going to do it this time, but in the past, TPD's helicopter is landed at Raymond James Stadium. They'll land it and they will take it apart or take the blades off, and they will store the City of Tampa Police helicopter inside Ray J as well because of the heavy concrete structure to protect the police equipment. They'll do a lot of staging over there as well.
Doesn't the stadium belong to the county?
Technically, I believe it does.
Yeah, so let us use it.
Oh, that's what they do.
I want to use a luxury suite as a shelter.
All right, so quickly here on the Bucks, Green Bay beating the Bucks yesterday, 14-12, and why the hell, after we had the late score and we needed a 2-point conversion to tie up the game 14-14 and go to overtime, why the hell did we have a delay of game? That Tom Brady, his expertise to have a delay of game, that threw off all the momentum. We lost, 5 yards?
Yep, 5-yard penalty.
And if we would have been able to push through with a normal 2-point conversion at that point, I think that the mojo might have been working better, and we might have tied that sucker up instead of being pushed back behind the 8 ball.
God, he's got a lot of stuff on his mind.
I realize that. And then, you know what really pisses me off? You know what I saw over the weekend and even leading up to the game? Why do Tampa Bay fans sell their tickets to Green Bay fans that come to town?
It's always been that way.
I know that, but it's been like that forever. But that angers me. Our home opener, and they sold tickets. Tampa Bay ticket holders sell tickets to Packers fans so we can have a giant waves of green Packers jerseys in the stadium? Come on.
Was there a lot of green?
Yeah, I looked through the stands as they panned to the crowd. I didn't see nearly as much green as there was in years past.
Maybe not, but there was still plenty of green. There were plenty of Packers fans, and plenty of those Packers fans came down from Wisconsin, and they bought tickets from local Tampa Bay Bucks ticket holders, and I think that's terrible.
A couple of teams like the Packers and the Steelers travel exceptionally well.
Anyway, so Bucks lost. What will happen? Will we have a Sunday game? Hopefully we do, because the effects were not as bad. But again, everyone, you got to prepare. You got to get ready. And I'm telling you right now, I sure as hell hope that I spent all this money. I'm hoping that I over-prepare, and I hope that I'm ready for this, and I hope that the effects are nowhere near what the possibilities are. I'm not going to be like, oh man, I wish we would have gotten the storm much worse because that's
Who
idiotic.
says that?
There's some, because you hear people moan and groan. Oh, I got all ready for it and nothing happened.
Oh my God,
I hope. Listen, it doesn't look like nothing's going to happen, but again, the forecast track, the intensity, all of this is still up in the air, whether it jogs to the west, jogs to the east, if it rolls into the coastline here on the west coast of Florida, below the Tampa Bay area, that would put us on the upper left side, minimizing the storm surge. It's just, if this thing sits offshore and we get that upper right and it's a slow mover, and it's a major hurricane, all of that water being pushed into the shoreline and up into Tampa Bay and all the tributaries, it's going to be a bitch, folks. I'm telling you right now, it's not going to be a good deal. It is going to be a bad, bad situation. All right, let's go back to phones. 800-990-1047, 800-990-1047. Caitlin's in Tampa. Caitlin, you're on the MJ Morning Show. Hi.
Hey, good morning. I just wanted to share a little bit of a Florida hack. Instead of waiting in line for water, fill up Ziploc bags with water and put them in your freezer. Not only is it going to keep your freezer colder longer, but all of that water is going to eventually defrost and can help as instead of the water bottles.
Yeah, you make giant ice cubes, and then you've got bags full of water. Good hack.
Ooh, good one.
Thank you, Caitlin. Have a good one. Will is in Tampa. Hey, Will, you're on the MJ Morning Show. Hi.
Hey, so an easy food hack for anybody out there looking for non-perishables right now, because I know it's hard to find them. is if you go to Walmart and you go to the camping section, they have MREs, and I was in there last night, and the MRE shelves are completely full. No one's been buying them because no one's thinking about that.
Yeah, people don't think of that. That is a good hack, and you might have all the canned goods blowing up, but if you go get those little MREs, those are meals ready to eat in the camping section. That's a good hack, man.
Yeah, 25 years shelf life. Throw it in your shelf. Keep it for the next one.
Will, thanks for the call, buddy. See, this is why I'm taking phone calls, because we're getting good advice. We can't think of everything over here, but when you have hundreds of thousands of listeners, they will think of just about everything. Abby's in Tampa. Hey, Abby.
Hey, MJ. How are you guys?
We are well. Just going through the drill again here.
Yeah, so am I. I just got back from Puerto Rico on my honeymoon.
Oh, man. Fiona just nailed Puerto Rico. How'd you fare during Fiona?
We did good. We were there for about a week, and then we ended up getting stuck there for about 2 weeks because all the flights got canceled. And I actually thought of you guys the last couple of shows when you were talking about how bad the airports were and planes getting canceled and things of that nature. And I was like, oh, my God, he's right. MJ was right. Like, our flight got canceled 3 times, and we kind of made a run for it to San Juan, where it was like the most, wealthiest, safest place, and got a hotel. They were running off of generators, but you couldn't move, And,
were they fair with the pricing in the hotel?
Somewhat. I mean, it was, definitely on the cheaper side. We paid, I think, $200 a night compared to the other rates that went up to like $600 a night.
So here you are. You shelled out thousands more than you anticipated, right?
Yeah, we shelled out probably $2,500 more than we anticipated for the trip.
And then what about power? Did power ever come back, or was it out during the entire duration that you were in the hotel?
So when Fiona hit Puerto Rico, it was still a tropical depression, and it didn't upgrade to a Cat 1 until the day after. But as soon as you felt the outer bands, the entire island went down. Power was shot out. So it was
wow. Listen, thanks for the phone call. I appreciate it, and I hope your honeymoon was okay other than a big storm.
Yeah, it was wonderful. Now I just got to go find water. I'm going to do what the other caller said earlier and try Lowe's or Home Depot because I tried Walmart yesterday and I walked right back out. It was a madhouse.
Abby, thanks for the call. Appreciate it. Yvonne is in St. Pete. Yvonne, you're on the MJ Morning Show. Hi.
Good morning.
Go ahead, Yvonne. You're up.
Okay, so we lived through Andrew, and one of the biggest problems was not having something cold to drink. So my suggestion is you start freezing that water you're buying and put it in your freezer like the other caller said, and it'll keep your food. And then when it thaws, you have something cold to drink because we didn't have anything for weeks and weeks.
Yeah,
and
so
get cash out. If there's no power, you can't buy anything because the ATMs, the gas pumps, everything's down.
Yeah, to get cash.
Yeah,
That's right.
Make sure. We picked up cash on Saturday. We hit the bank on Saturday and picked up some additional cash. So,
right.
Hey, thanks. I appreciate.
Everything will be down when the power's down.
Yep. Hey, thank you so much. Appreciate it. Hey, Fester, were you able to find out about the gas stations and generators?
I haven't seen anything that said that it's mandatory to retrofit older stations.
I think the newer stations.
The new code is that they have a
generator
and a backup supply.
Yeah, because when power's out, gas stations were not able to pump gas, but newer stations, I believe, were required to put in generators. Andrew, can you do some research on that quickly on the gas stations? And if old stations had a retrofit, I thought there was chatter of making old gas stations retrofit and put generators in. Hang on a minute. Let me grab, look at the phones here. Everyone's just calling in. This is fantastic. Michelle's in Lakeland. Hey, Michelle, you're on the MJ Morning Show. Hi.
Hey, MJ. It's Michelle in Lakeland, Florida.
Hey, go ahead.
Hey, there's one thing that nobody has mentioned anything about. I am a special needs hospice foster pet parent for 3 rescues. Don't forget your animals, the food that they need.
That's true. So pet food is another one to make sure. And, as far as shelters, people that have to evacuate the shelters. And again, folks, go to your county or city's website. They're going to have all the shelter information for your area. If you need to evacuate, if you're in one of the evacuation zones, a flood zone, if you're in a velocity zone, if you go to your county's website or your city's website, they're going to have all of the locations listed where you can evacuate to.
And lucky enough, I have two special needs. They're from Best Friends Society out of William. That's where our branches are. They have to have goat's milk and baby food.
Oh, yeah.
Publix over on not too far from where I will go. They're ordering me baby food that's organic and goat's milk.
Will they get it in time?
They'll be here tomorrow.
All right, fantastic.
All right.
Thank you. I appreciate the call. All right, if I got to take a break here. If you're on hold, hang on. We'll go back to phones. We got a lot of things we have to do here. I thought today probably just kind of get a footing. I was trying to figure out, do I do some of the funny stuff today? And,
I mean, honestly, there's plenty of great morons in the news to cover from over the weekend. But MJ, right now, who the hell cares? This is really important.
Yeah, I think just get everyone in the frame of mind because this does look like it's a potential problem here, folks. So if you're on hold, hang on. We'll go right back to calls in a minute. If you're on hold, stand by. Don't move. Got to do a quick break, and then we'll go right back to your phone calls. If you want to try to get in, 800-990-1047, 800-990-1047. A couple of our great sponsors here on the MJ Morning Show. Remember... by not only our local meteorologist from ABC Action News here in the Tampa Bay area, but also earlier today, your colleague John Cangelosi. They're telling us about the storm predicted to slow dramatically to 5 to 7 miles an hour of forward speed, and that is almost crawling. And that could put this tropical activity, this hurricane, this could put it on top of us or to the west of us for an extended period of time, maybe 2 to 3 times longer than some other previous systems.
Yeah, that's also a concern that we've been watching because the forecast motion is supposed to slow down as it's sort of approaching the Florida Peninsula sometime in the Tuesday to Wednesday time frame. And so really that could be a significant impact in terms of flash flooding potential. And we are highlighting significant rainfall totals on the order of at least 6 to 10 inches for the Tampa Bay area and also points along that sort of western peninsula of Florida. So you're right. This is also a potential concern with the storm slowing down as it approaches the coast.
And when do you think we'll know? Here we are. It's 9 o'clock exactly here on Monday morning. When do you think, Philippe, that we'll have a much better idea on more of a lock on the forecast? And listen, I understand. I've seen this before. Irma took a jog to the east of 75 at the last minute, changed things significantly back in, 2017. We saw Charlie in 2004 heading right for the Tampa Bay area and then took a hook right into Charlotte Harbor, into Punta Gorda and Port Charlotte. When do you think, what's the best guess at the National Hurricane Center where you are on when we'll have a better idea of the track as it heads up the West Coast?
Right. So as we get further out in time, you're right. The forecast does start to get a little bit higher in confidence, and we've been sort of highlighting the uncertainty of the last couple of days. But we have noticed just in the last 24 hours that a lot of the models that we use to kind of make our track prediction have started to get a little bit closer together. And there's an increase in confidence that there is going to be a significant impact along the Florida Peninsula at this point.
All right. Now, Philippe, do you guys use, I know you use the GFS, which is the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration Global Forecast System model. You use the GFS, which is known as, typically on TV, they call it the American model. Then you've got the Euro model, which is the European Center for Medium Range Weather Forecasting, or the ECMWF. Now, and then you've got the UK MET model, which is the United Kingdom's model. We saw a divergence. We saw the American model versus the Euro models. They were kind of diverging for a while, but now they've come together. What are you looking at? Which models? I know you look at everything, but are you starting to see an even greater consensus among the models?
So you're right. It's not really good to use any one particular model, but we often use a consensus approach where we sort of blend the models together to kind of create an improved forecast because there has been sort of an increased convergence of the model guidance over the last couple of days, at least for the first couple of days of the forecast track. But a real difficult aspect of this particular track forecast is the angle of approach that Ian is approaching the Florida Peninsula. And the fact that even small deviations either to the east or the west of the current forecast track could result in a significant change of possible areas that would be impacted along the Florida Peninsula. So even though the track is getting a little bit more confident, just that angle of approach makes it really difficult to pinpoint where areas are going to experience potentially the maximum impacts associated with Hurricane Ian.
All right, Philippe from the National Hurricane Center in Miami. Philippe, thanks for joining us here on the MJ Morning Show on Q105. We appreciate it. And again, those simple jogs, it's still quite a distance away. So it is going to jog. It's going to be how much and where, essentially. Philippe, thank you. And I know you guys are going to be busy over the course of this week at the National Hurricane Center.
Yeah, that we will. No, thanks for letting me join this morning.
Hey, thanks for what you guys do down there. We appreciate it.
No problem.
Thanks.
So what I'm hearing, it sounds like if the hurricane, whether it's a direct hit on land somewhere on the West Coast or the Panhandle, it's all going to be bad when you have that direct hit wherever it hits the land, but it slows it down then. So even it crawling up the coast, that's going to be a bad scenario too. So it sounds like it's all bad scenarios unless it just weakens altogether.
Well, weekends steers out more toward the Western Gulf, but again, what's good for any one area is bad for somebody else.
Right.
You know, we all don't want it to hit right here in the Tampa Bay area, but that would mean it hitting somewhere else, you know, maybe staying far offshore or far enough offshore where there would be coastal effects, but not catastrophic effects. And then to hit a less populated area, like in the Big Bend or up, towards the eastern panhandle, where you don't have as much population and infrastructure like we have here in the Tampa Bay area. Let's go back to your phone calls again. You know, just trying to, feel our way through the show today. It's a Monday. We're starting a whole new week, and we are in a obvious prep mode here. And if you're not, it's not a smart move. If you're of the attitude, oh, we've been through this drill before, we get all ready and nothing happens, I would rather prepare for a week and have nothing happen than to prepare and just have some serious problems that could affect our home, our Tampa Bay area, for a long time. Back to phones, 800-990-1047, 800-990-1047. Laura is in Clearwater. Laura, you're on the MJ Morning Show on Q105. Hi.
Hey, good morning.
Morning. How are you?
Doing well. Just wanted to let everybody know where they can get water if they're in North Pinellas. I just left the Whole Foods in Clearwater that is at the Countryside Mall. They have tons of bottled water, and it was not crazy in there.
All right. Whole Foods in Countryside has loads of bottled water right now for those that need it. Great call, Laura. This is why we rely on callers like you to call in and give us the little pockets of where people can find things, as we have a lot of last-minute preppers. Thank you, Laura. I appreciate it.
Yep, glad to help. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
Jose's in Tampa. Jose, you're on the MJ Morning Show on Q105. Hi.
Thank you, sir. I got a couple of things here. Gandy, on Publix and Gandy, they have water. They have pallets of water, 6 feet by 2 cases. Get one for free.
Hold on a sec. So Jose, on Gandy in Tampa, right?
Gandy in Manhattan.
Right.
In Manhattan.
Oh, that's right. Because the Gandy and Hines store, that's under construction with the new store.
Under construction.
Yeah,
that is correct, sir. Yes.
So it's the newer one on Gandy and Manhattan. Yeah, I know exactly where you are.
Yes, and also they have like pallets coming in on the little store. It's called Quick Stop South, West Shore and South, about a quarter mile south of Gandy on West Shore.
All right, buddy, I appreciate it. I filled up. If you're on hold, hang on. I'm going right back to the phones. And that just opened up a line. If you want to get in, 800-990-1047. Comments, questions, good tips. Listen, we just had 2 good water tips. People trying to find water couldn't find water in some places yesterday. We got water at Whole Foods and Countryside, plenty of it, and plenty of water at the Publix on Gandy and Manhattan in South Tampa. So any comments, questions, tips, any observations, want to run anything by us, 800-990-1047, 800-990-1047 gets you in back to the phones. And then I'll talk about, I filled up my propane tank. I topped that off on Saturday, and give you some thoughts on that in a bit. Did get a bunch of gasoline on Saturday. Don't typically store a lot of gasoline in my house. I do have, a good chunk of gasoline at this point. But if you have any thoughts, any tips, gas station observations of people acting nicely, or stories about people acting not nicely at stores, or people hoarding, or getting into arguments, or just harmony. Love to get both sides of it. 800-990-1047 gets you on the MJ Morning Show. 800-990-1047. Gouging. Has anyone seen any price gouging at this point? And if you don't know about the gouging laws, we'll get to that here in just a bit. Let's go back to phones, and Doug is in Lakeland. Doug, you're on the MJ Morning Show on Q105. Hi.
Good morning.
Yes, Doug, go ahead. You're up.
I just have an observation. I'm 65. I live in Lakeland. The worst hurricane we ever had come through here was in 64 in Hurricane Donna. And every one that we've ever had to come through Polk County, we have never, ever lost water. I don't understand the big panic everybody has about buying bottles and bottles and bottles of water. The lady had the right idea. You just fill up some Ziploc bags and throw them in the freezer. Of course, there's always a chance power could go out to the water supply and we could lose water, but it has never happened in Polk County.
You know, yeah, you're in Polk County, but Hillsborough and Pinellas County and Manatee and Citrus and Hernando and Pasco, could be, quite a bit different. And again, the infrastructure has grown dramatically since you talk about the storms that, you experienced over the years. So the area has exploded in population growth and the taxing of the resources. Just better to be safe than sorry. Let's grab Gene in St. Petersburg. Gene, you're on the MJ Morning Show on Q105. Oh, by the way, that just opened up a line, 800-990-1047, 800-990-1047. Gene, you're on the MJ Morning Show. Hi.
Hi, love you guys. Just a tip. Your refrigerator is good for 3 days if you don't open the door if you lose electricity. But if you freeze 2 or 3 gallon jugs, and then when you lose electricity, you put the frozen jugs in your refrigerator, it will keep your refrigerator cold for an additional week. But the only thing you have to remember is before you freeze those gallon jugs, take out a little bit of water, because when it freezes, it expands and it's going to split your jugs.
Another great tip. Thank you, Gene.
Keep your refrigerator door closed.
Keep it closed as long as you can. Thank you, Gene.
Yeah. You're welcome. Bye.
All right. How about Carlos in Tampa? Carlos, you're on the MJ Morning Show on Q105. Hi. Carlos, you're up. Hello, Carlos. Let me put Carlos back on hold because I don't know if he's listening off the air. Hey, Andrew, Carlos is on 6. All right, thanks. Let's grab Bailey's in Tampa. Hey, Bailey, you're on the MJ Morning Show. Hi.
Hi, how are you guys?
We're doing well. Just getting into the prep mode here. We haven't had, a brush like this in, 2017 was the last one that, kind of looked,
that was Irma.
That could be foreboding like this. Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, yeah, I hear you. This has me really worried because I'm in Ybor, and we just had that microburst a few weeks ago, so we're still recovering from that.
Yeah, what happened in Ybor?
It was like a mini hurricane that came through out of nowhere.
Yeah, we had the heavy thunderstorm activity, but what happened? What did you experience? What type of damage, or did you have power out? Or?
Oh, yeah, like there's roofs missing on houses and everything still. Like there's still a few houses in the neighborhood that have tarps on them, and now we're getting ready to get hit by this thing.
Yeah. Bailey, what is your plan?
Well, we're definitely going to have to leave because we're so close to the port. So go over into Lando Lakes area, stay with some family. But I did want to let everybody know that for water, check the health food stores like Nutrition Smart in Wesley Chapel. They had water when I went just yesterday.
Right. Think of some unconventional places for water. Bailey, stay safe. Thanks for phoning in.
Oh, I do have one little tip, if that's okay.
Please. Yeah, go ahead.
I've been doing this for years. Take a coffee cup or a teacup and put water in it and put it in your freezer. And then when it is frozen solid, put a quarter on top of it. So that way when your power goes out, if the quarter has sunk to the bottom of the cup when the power is restored, then you know to throw out everything in your freezer. But if the quarter is still on top of the frozen block of ice, then your food is okay.
Look at
That's
that.
how you time it. Okay.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Why don't you just touch the ice?
No problem. Have a good one.
Thank you.
Thanks. What was that, Froggy?
Why don't you just feel the ice and say, oh, it's still icy? The quarter seems like a waste of a quarter, really.
Or if it's springtime and you're on a pond up in the Northeast and you want to see if the pond is still frozen, just jump on it anyway with your ice skates and see what happens.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just jump up and down.
Yeah. All right, let's go back to phones. George is in Brooksville. George, you're on the MJ Morning Show on Q105. Hi.
Hi, how's it going?
We're doing well, George. Go ahead.
Well, you mentioned the generators earlier. One thing is I work for the phone company, so if you're going to plug the generator into your house to power the house, make sure you cut off the main switch because it'll backfeed power into the lines.
Oh, okay. Yep. All right. So hopefully you have a transfer switch is what you're talking about, right?
Right. Or some people plug it into like where their dryer socket is to backfeed the house, but just make sure on the main you cut off the main so it doesn't backfeed into the grid.
Yep, that makes sense to me.
So much to worry about.
Yeah, there's a lot to worry about. And
that's what I was saying. Safety for the linemen out there and stuff like that. Because, there'll be a lot of linemen and then power lines on the ground, and then you don't want to energize it with your generator from your house.
Good point.
But also, when you're playing with electricity, just hopefully you know what you're doing or find somebody who knows what they're doing. George, thanks for the call. Appreciate it. 800-990-1047. You got the MJ Morning Show here on Q105. Of course, you should know about schools by now. I'll go back to phones here in just a second. If you're on hold, Miles and Robert and Marta and Carlos and everyone else, hang on. I'll be right with you. Schools-wise, Hillsborough County obviously closed today through Thursday. Hillsborough County schools closed until Thursday. Pinellas County schools open today, but the following schools in Pinellas were going to release early today at 12:30, and that's Palm Harbor University, Dunedin Dunedin Highland Middle School, and Johns Hopkins Middle School closing early at 12:30 to use those as shelters. Then Pasco schools open today but closed Tuesday and Wednesday. Thursday remains to be seen. Polk County schools open today and Tuesday. And I guess they'll make determinations as we, probably closed on Wednesday and Thursday. Manatee open today, Sarasota open today, Hernando open today, Citrus open today. And then, of course, University of Tampa closed today through Sunday. And then University of South Florida, USF, classes canceled today through Thursday is what we have so far.
And private schools, of course, go on their own schedule. We're just talking about the public schools.
Yeah, but a lot of the private schools follow the public schools in a particular city or county. So typically, your private schools are going to do exactly what the public schools actually do. All right, back to phones, 800-990-1047. Did we dig Carlos back up? Let me see where Carlos is. Hey, Carlos in Tampa, you're on. Hi.
Hey, MJ, how you doing, buddy?
Doing fine. Go ahead.
Hey, just want to let you know, on Hanley, between Hillsborough and Waters, right about Jackson Springs Road, there's a water machine there. Nobody's there. I mean, I just got filled up 3 5-gallon jugs. It's 25 cents a gallon.
Yep.
So folks really aren't taking it too serious here, but they should be. I've been here all my life. Tell you what.
Yep.
You need to take this one serious.
I mean, you should. You should take everyone seriously. And again, we prepare, we do spend money, and let's just hope that we prepared and it's not as bad as it could be. But you don't want it to be as bad as they potentially say it could be and not be prepared at all. I mean,
exactly.
let me spend hours and hours moving furniture and getting ready and spending money. Let me spend all that time and effort and money and have a storm that looks like it's coming our direction and then not have the impact that it was supposed to have. Let that happen all day long, and I'm happy to prepare. I'd rather not have the event verify what some of the predictions are. Carlos, thanks for the call. Marta is in Dunedin. Hey, Marta, you're on the MJ Morning Show on Q105. Hi.
Hi, MJ. My initials are MJ too, you know. Anyway, not Costco, BJ's. BJ's on 580 and 19.
Yep.
In Clearwater, right by Dunedin. They have so much water, they're never going to run out.
All right, well.
And they also have gas.
Okay, so BJ's has water and gas, and that's on 580 and where?
19.
Gotcha. Thank you, Marta. Appreciate you phoning in. Rachel's in Valrico. Rachel, you're on the MJ Morning Show on Q105. Hi.
Good morning. I'm a food blogger on Instagram. You follow me, actually, MJ. I'm Tampa Food Mom.
Yeah, I see your stuff. Yep.
Whoop, whoop. So one of the places I support out in Lakeland called HTO, they're an amazing tea store. They are now letting customers come in with their own containers for 60-cent fill-ups of their filtered water. They were selling gallons throughout the weekend, but they ran out of the containers. So at this point, if you go into the Lakeland location for 60 cents, you can fill up for a gallon. And I want to say, I grew up in South Florida. I lived through Hurricane Andrew. Everybody should take this serious. Whether you've been hit by a hurricane, you've lived in Central Florida your whole life, better to have it than not have it and need it.
I think those are very, very wise words. Thank you. I really appreciate you phoning in and keep up with your food blogging. I appreciate it. Robert is in Trinity. Robert, you're next on the MJ Morning Show on Q105. Hi.
Hey, just a real quick tip on if you run out of water, you can still use your toilets. All you have to do is fill up that tank on the back with pool water, and it'll work for weeks.
Look at that.
Oh, good one.
Yeah, that is a very good point because, as far as flushing toilets, who cares what you're flushing your toilets with, right?
Yeah, you get a 5-gallon bucket, and each time you fill it up, and gravity takes care of the rest.
Yep. So if you have a pool, grab pool water. That makes a lot of sense. That's a good hack. Hang on a minute.
I'm writing all these down. Don't worry about it.
Let me write that one down also. So Roxanne,
or you could just log on to mjmorningshow.com later and you can read all of these tips.
Yeah, so Roxanne's going to do a whole compilation. Since the beginning of the show today, we've had a bunch of phone calls with a bunch of hacks and good ideas. I hope Michelle's colonoscopy went well.
When's she supposed to be done with it?
Should be done about now.
I'm sure she's fine.
She's probably a little groggy.
A little tooty.
Well,
that always happens.
I would rather not, call it that. But let me try Michelle's cell number. I don't know if she's already.
You could probably. Never mind. I was going to make a gas joke.
Yeah. Why did you not do that?
This is a gas-themed show today.
Yeah.
I mean, aren't you really gassy after those things?
I don't think so. I've had 2 colonoscopies. I don't think there was anything.
I woke up in a colonoscopy room and it was like an orchestra of toots.
Froggy,
when I had my endoscopy, I was like,
Froggy, stop. Just leave it to Froggy. Michelle's not picking up. She might still be in like the recovery room. But how about that? So today's the day Michelle's getting a colonoscopy.
Well, she got that out of the way before.
First one ever.
Yeah. No, this is Michelle's.
This is the inaugural.
This is her first colonoscopy. Have you had one yet, Roxanne?
No, I have not.
All right. Well, get ready at some point. Aaron's in Dade City. Aaron, you're on the MJ Morning Show on Q105. Hi.
Hey, good morning.
Morning. Go ahead.
Hey, so I had a little tip on for if you run out of electricity or your power goes out and people buy up candles and batteries for flashlights, go to the garden center in Walmart and get cheap solar lights. I did that during Irma, and it works very well. No heat, nothing, and you have lights throughout your house throughout the evening or the day, whatever you need. So cheap solar lights from the garden center work really well.
That's pretty good. Pretty good tip. Thank you, buddy. Appreciate it. Let's grab Ashley, Newport Richie. Ashley, you're on the MJ Morning Show on Q105. Hi.
Hey, good morning, guys. So my tip is if you're worried about running out of water for yourself or your animals, the CDC recommends 8 drops of unscented bleach per gallon of water to make it drinkable for humans and animals.
Yeah, and if you go online, you can find out if you don't know what the ratio is and you don't remember what Ashley just said, just go online and there's all kinds of searches you can do, how to make water safe to drink, and it'll all be on there. Ashley, good tip. Thank you. Tammy's in Tampa. Tammy, you're on the MJ Morning Show. Hi.
Morning.
Morning, Tammy. Go ahead.
I've got a hurricane tip. I've only heard one person say something about toilets.
Yep, go ahead.
You can also store water in your bathtub and in your washing machine for that.
Yep, and so you can have water in a container to be able to have water to flush toilets, etc. Tammy, thanks for the call. All right, hey, Andrew, I'm going to take 2 more here, and then I'm going to take a break because I'm running late already. Jeff is in Tampa. Jeff, you're on the MJ Morning Show. Hi.
Hi, good morning. I'm not sure if someone mentioned it, but large plastic baggies for important papers that you may need a quick backup on, banking statements or phone numbers, medical information, things like that. Really, it's, bag them up and have them in a safe place that you can just, grab and go if you have to.
All good points, passports, important documents, everything, insurance papers. All right, well, let me grab one more here before I take the break. Rodney, the record guy. Hey, Rodney, you're on the MJ Morning Show.
Hey, MJ. Good morning, everybody in the crew there. Well, we're planning to have a party. We're liquoring ourselves up. We got the booze all ready to go. We got the generators ready to be fired up. And my business will be running full 100%, towing people out of the floodwaters if we need to be, winching them out like we did at the last one. But I haven't heard anybody say they're going to have a party. We're going to have a hurricane party like we did up north. It's awesome.
All right, Rodney.
Make sure you're prepared.
Yeah, keep in touch with us, Rodney, and definitely
will.
Yeah, have a good alcohol supply too, right?
That sounds like have some hurricanes.
Rodney, the record guy. All right, let me grab one more here, and then I mean, the lines just keep filling up. Kimberly, St. Pete Beach. Kimberly, you're right along the coast there. You're on the MJ Morning Show. Hi, Kimberly.
Hi, how are you, MJ?
Going well. Go ahead.
What I'm calling for is people, you can go to the Family Dollar store, and they have transistor radios for $8 and weather radios for $11 that run on batteries.
Look at that. Family Dollar. Thank you. Great tip, because Amazon is taking till Friday or Saturday now to deliver battery-powered radios.
Bester would love that tip.
All right, let me take a quick break here. Phones keep filling up, and I'm running just a few minutes late. You got the MJ Morning Show here on Q105, and just trying to get a footing. Just trying to take phone calls and just kind of get people in the mode of preparation, because it's not looking great. When I hear my weather buddies, when I hear, Dennis Phillips at 28, when I hear Paul Delgado, I spoke to Steve Jervy over the weekend, who Steve obviously retired. I might want to call Steve up and say, hey, Steve, you want to be the private MJ Morning Show weather guy for the next couple of days?
There you go. As I recall with Dennis, he called Irma right correctly.
I can't keep track of everything, but again, we've got great resources. We've got ABC Action News, we've got National Weather Service, we have National Hurricane Center. We've had everyone on this morning from all three of those places. All right, let me take a quick break. We're back in a minute. Final chunk of the MJ Morning Show is coming up, but the overwhelming item to remember is just get ready, just prepare. We live here in Florida, and things are not looking great. Where this thing is headed, it's not looking great. Stacey Kemp, Justin Forby. in the final segment here on the program on a Monday as we are all in hurricane prep mode here on the west coast of Florida, here in the Tampa Bay area. And we're going to be with you throughout the week here to bring you all the information you need. And it's just going to be a busy week. And, yeah, it's that anxiety. It's that pit feeling you get in your stomach when you look at these updates and you see the storm track. And, we can only hope that this thing moves farther offshore and limits the impact on the Tampa Bay area. But as of now, it's forecast as a slow-moving major hurricane right off the coast, which is not a good setup for the Tampa Bay area at all.
Let's hope it weakens altogether.
Well,
let's hope for the best.
Well,
prepare for the worst, as they say.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for it. Those are some very important words. Yeah.
Or is it prepare for the best? What is it?
It's prepare.
Yeah,
Prepare for the worst. Hope for the best.
That's the role I'm taking.
That's the thing there. So, all right. On a couple of other notes here. Yes, there's other things going on. We've tried to sprinkle things in during the course of the morning show today, but we'll be back with you right here again tomorrow morning. Now, Rox, you were saying something about the Bucks' loss, and where is this coming from? Where are you seeing this?
So this is Rick Stroud. So with Tampa Bay Times, he's my best Buck source.
Rick Stroud at the Tampa Bay Times clearly has a good line on anything Bucks. Yep,
for sure. So he was saying that Packers QB Aaron Rodgers said something after the game yesterday. He said that he saw something on the Jumbotron at Ray J that helped the Packers defend the 2-point conversion. And this is Aaron Rodgers talking. He says, well, they showed it on the previous play, too. It was a delay on both plays, but sometimes you see things in the game. Sometimes the Jumbotron shows things they probably shouldn't, even at home games. I saw something. I just passed on the information. So it's unclear what he saw.
All right, so hang on. This is important. So Aaron Rodgers is making a claim that he saw something on the Jumbotron. So the in-house cameras, or do they put in-house cameras on the Jumbotron, or do they put the network TV feed, or is it a combination of both?
It could be a combination, but I know they definitely have in-house cameras.
Seen?
But that is crazy that Aaron Rodgers might have seen something on the Jumbotron as cameras were focused on Brady in a huddle, or?
Well, it's unclear what he meant by that, but people on social media are speculating that he saw Brady and the Bucs selecting plays.
Oh, no.
What?
And that's why they were able to defend that so easily.
And then to be able to quickly get that to the defensive coordinator to try to coordinate the Packers on defending the 2-point conversion?
Yes.
Come on, camera guy. What are you, on the pay?
Well, also, somebody's got in the director's booth has to put the image up on the Jumbotron. That is a crazy conspiracy theory.
Well, it's a little odd that Aaron Rodgers said this. Isn't it kind of strange that he
I would just keep that to yourself, because they'll make sure they don't make that mistake again.
What's up with that guy's wispy hair, too? It's annoying me. You see him after the game with the little wisps? Ugh. Annoying. You're a grown man.
All right. Also, speaking of Tom Brady, we now know that apparently Tom Brady broke 2 Microsoft Surface Pro tablets on the sidelines. We only saw the one that he spiked on the ground, but word is now that there were 2 tablets that were smashed by TB12 by Tom Brady. And then the NFL sent a warning to every team after Tom Brady broke the 2 tablets.
Well, they didn't send a warning to your guy with the Bills. I saw your IG.
Yeah, what do you mean, my guy?
Dude, that guy went.
It's not my guy.
That would be me if I was a coach.
Well, I was thinking about that. I was like, you know what? I'm surprised more of this doesn't happen often. If I look around this room that I'm in right now, Fester's not here, but I would peg all of you guys, Froggy, you at the top of the list for breaking things during a game. All of you.
I would smash everything.
Even Andrew.
Sight.
Andrew, you would break things too.
Well, the NFL, and I'll talk about the guy in the booth, which this guy went nuts. It was the offensive coordinator for the Buffalo Bills, went nuts. And I actually put a video up on my Instagram. Folks, we're just going to take a little bit of a diversion away from the hurricane talk because we've been doing the hurricane talk in preparation all morning long here on the MJ Morning Show. So the NFL, we also understand, the NFL sent out a warning to all 32 teams that after Tom Brady smashed not one but two tablets on the sideline. We only saw one on camera. The league allegedly sent out memos to all 32 teams before week 3 warning them about breaking tablets after Brady smashed two of them during week 2 and the win over the New Orleans Saints. This is according to Fox's Jay Glazer. Yeah, footage of Brady throwing the tablet. That was just one. There was another one that was apparently smashed, and the NFL said, hey, don't smash the tablets on the sideline. Or I wonder if they said about smashing tablets anywhere. It turns out that Buffalo Bills offensive coordinator Ken Dorsey had a meltdown in the booth after the Buffalo Bills' comeback attempt failed against the Dolphins. And the guy goes nuts in the booth. He's up on top in the booth, calling plays. And the guy starts smashing stuff. He picks up papers and starts throwing them. There's a tablet that gets smashed on the counter. But, and they show this on TV. What I did was the screen went black. And I'm like, what happened there? But it didn't look like, it looked like something else had covered it up. So I did a slow-mo and I put the video up on my Instagram feed. So Certified MJ Radio, give me a follow. Also, all kinds of anything that's pertinent hurricane-wise, I'll post. For instance, I posted the empty shelves at Publix. No water, but there was some liquid death water bottles there or cans. I posted the propane filling station. I'm a Hank Hill. Bobby, damn it.
I've never seen the show, but I'm sure it's funny what you're doing.
Well, no, you've never seen King of the Hill?
No.
He sells propane and propane accessories, dude.
Really?
Yeah. So I was at the propane place on Manhattan on Saturday, and it was a huge line, and I took a picture of that. So I got some. Oh, and then Saturday night I was at dinner with Paul Delgado. This was booked, weeks ago. I was at dinner with Paul Delgado, Michelle and Marianne, Paul's wife, and we were at Burns Steakhouse, and there's an image of me and Paul at the dinner table. He's got a big hunk of meat in front of him, and he's holding up a tablet, and we got Paul is tracking the hurricane at dinner. He's looking at stuff all night long, as far as looking at, this is Saturday night also, before we had, more of a solid, what seems like path going on.
I'm sorry, but did you say you did go to the dessert room or you didn't?
No, we did go to the dessert room.
Okay.
Yeah, and he was still checking the weather and the models and all the forecasting while we were in the dessert room.
See this cheesecake? This is Florida.
He got the big hot fudge sundae, by the way. So if you want to see my Instagram, it's Certified MJ Radio, and I'm sure there are going to be plenty of things in the coming days that I post. Certified MJ Radio. Give me a follow on Insta. Anything else before we get out of here today?
Yeah, lots and lots and lots.
Yeah, like what, Froggy?
Well, you have it all because it's your show, but we did a lot of hurricane stuff.
No, it's it's the MJ Morning Show with Froggy, Fester, and Roxanne, and me, MJ.
MJ and Friends?
MJ, okay, fine, MJ and Friends.
I like that better. I like that.
It's the MJ and Friends Morning Show.
What did one guy call us today? Your people, your cat, your characters.
MJ
your
and
characters.
Cast.
Whatever it was. I wanted to try to call Michelle again, see if she's all right. Michelle had a colonoscopy this morning. Michelle's first ever.
She probably doesn't want to talk after that.
I just want to see if she's all right, I'm sure they dosed her up with the milk of amnesia, the Michael Jackson propofol.
Give me more, doctor.
That's what I'm thinking.
Dr. Conrad.
Yeah, I don't know if, I don't want Dr. Conrad.
Conrad Murray.
Hello? Hey, Michelle. Hey, Michelle, we're live. How are you?
Okay, I got it now.
Are you okay?
No, I don't feel good.
You're what?
I don't feel good. I gotta go.
All right, I'll call. I'm ending the show now anyway. I'll call you right back, and Mandy will be there in a few minutes. Okay? All right, I'll call you back. Yeah, she
got a little nauseous.
Yeah, probably.
Poor baby.
Yeah, she's coming out of the.
They put you all the way under.
Yeah.
That?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
For a colonoscopy, yeah, they put you totally under.
Not me. I'm gonna keep me awake.
Anything else before we get out of here today?
No. Hope Michelle's doing better.
Yeah, we're trying to balance the show today, but obviously, I think it was important to just do a whole lot of hurricane prep and talk.
Very informative.
And again, I'd rather over prepare and not need it, but the way the track is looking at this point, folks, it doesn't look good. for the west coast of Florida and the Tampa Bay area, especially since it's going to be a major hurricane forecast offshore, but that could change to closer or further away, and then for a longer period of time because the storm is going to move slow, like 5 to 7 miles an hour, and I hope that it speeds up. That is not good. I want to talk about the Holland Group Retirement Wealth Advisors here finally before we leave the program today. Steve and Elizabeth Holland would love to help get your finances in order. When's the last time you got a second opinion? When's the last time you had a financial pro like Steve and Elizabeth Holland at the Holland Group Retirement Wealth Advisors give you a second opinion about your investment strategy, your retirement strategy? They will do this complimentary, no cost, no obligation to you. All you have to do is get a hold of Steve and Elizabeth Holland. They will build you a customized investment and retirement plan. No cost, no obligation. This is complimentary. Get that second opinion. They're going to build you written plans, folks, and this is something that you need. Reduce your taxes, reduce portfolio